How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the TimcastIRL podcast. I'm hanging out with some friends tonight. We're going to talk about some stuff.
Are we going to talk about stuff?
Talk about stuff,
You know,
and junk.
I really love talking stuff with you, Tim. And you too, Lydia.
Oh, thanks, Adam.
Speaking of which,
I appreciate
Stuff and
that.
junk.
Yeah, there I am. Look at that.
There
Sour
she
Patch
is.
Lids. I'm wearing my cool t-shirt. Look at that.
Harumph,
Oh, yeah.
Harumph.
I hope I
I
match
say.
everyone today. Yes.
Well, we got, man, I can't believe it. The mad lads of Minneapolis did it.
Oh, yeah?
They voted to abolish the police.
They did it.
So it's official?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not going to be overnight, but, you know, we'll read through the story. It's like a long plan. New York is pushing a plan to cut $1 billion out of the NYPD budget as well.
Wow.
Now, I think that might be like a sixth, so I'm not sure if it's, you know, how much of an impact that would really have.
$1 billion.
But there's also, when I saw the story, I asked, is property value collapsing in Minneapolis now?
I would suspect so, yeah.
You got to be insane to buy property in Seattle or Minneapolis right now. Literally
It's
insane.
going to be Chaz 2.0 in
So-
no time.
But so this is interesting. There's a tweet showing that 18% of the listings are from the past week.
Wow.
In Minneapolis.
18% boost in listings.
Yeah, but
Where is everyone going?
But that might be normal, or it might be something not unique to Minneapolis at the very least. But there is a major spike in demand for mortgages, 18%, so that looks legit.
Yeah.
People are bugging out. Dude, could you imagine if you owned a building in Seattle? These people don't understand, man. Once the property owners leave and there's no more taxes.
Yeah.
So here's what Chicago's doing. You know what Chicago's plan is?
No, I have no idea.
Jack the taxes up
Really?
because people are fleeing.
Wow.
Dude.
So it's like Flint with the water.
Exactly. It's going
Less
to be
people,
like Detroit.
you pay more. Wow, that's
Yup.
I
The
tell
end
you
of
this,
cities is nigh.
I would not want to live in a city without police officers. No way.
Right. Because
we don't
have you seen the videos?
realize how much they actually do.
You know what, man? Let's talk. We'll talk about this too, because I've been thinking. You know, some countries have a civil guard and police, and they're separate.
Oh, okay.
I think that might make a lot of sense.
Having both.
Civil guard would be people who handle like giving, like you get a ticket for your parking ticket or like speeding or whatever.
Okay.
And they don't have lethal. They don't engage in arrests or anything like that. They handle all the petty stuff, and then the police only respond to emergencies.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a surface level idea. We have to really explore this.
Yeah.
But I got bad news for everybody.
Oh no.
What's that?
Got bad news.
Great.
no.
Of course you do.
The Chaz has a deadline.
Yeah.
No.
I saw that.
For those that don't know,
Sad.
Someone just hit me up and they said to shout out to them. So thank you. We
the
it
mayor
made it to
mayor
show.
says she thinks there will be a summer of love, and maybe. But on their website, they've informed travelers, nah, they got a week left, and they're out. So
Eight more days.
We'll see.
And that's it.
And we got some other stuff we might talk about. We got a lot of Chaz stuff we're gonna go through, and there's something really funny. Somebody in Cap Hill got their tires slashed,
Wow, really?
and you know what? You know what they were told on Reddit?
What?
Did you call the police? Whoa! Wow.
But
So-
no,
Anyway,
it's not
we're
even
gonna
funny
talk
anymore.
about the property
liked it,
taxes
though.
stuff. This is gonna be a big one, man. The property taxes, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already, smash that
Smash
like button.
that like button. Smash it. Smash it.
And if you're on your phone,
Double smash.
you're on your phone,
Triple
give
smash?
give it a little
Yes.
tap.
Triple smash.
You have to triple tap.
Triple smash
Yeah.
it.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And if you want to get your super chats in, get them in. We go usually first come first serve, but we can't get to everybody, so we try and read as many super chats as we can. And you can always follow me at Timcast on Twitter. You can follow at Adam Krigler.
Yes,
There
you
he
can.
is.
Follow at Sour Patch Lids, LYDS.
Boop. There we go.
We do the show every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Tonight, after the show, Adam will be playing some music once we wrap up.
Yes, I know
drinking some
everyone.
whiskey.
He did say he was gonna play, but he actually is gonna be recording some stuff.
Yeah, I
tomorrow,
can't sing today.
Tomorrow.
Right?
Oh my
You're gonna.
gosh.
So
Yeah.
and he talks all day long. I know. Yep. Tim Pool.
Yep,
So
recording
he's
tomorrow.
got to hold his voice. So I'm gonna be rocking out some songs, maybe a few. I don't know what I'm gonna play. I really want
What
to
is it? Wait,
bust out
hold
some
on. I
color-
just saw a
some
super
covers.
chat. Someone said Netflix
question.
pulled the Lethal Weapon 5 episode of It's Always Sunny.
What?
You know what,
I
man?
don't even know what that means.
That
It's a
was the
blackface
one,
episode.
yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because Lethal Weapon was it Danny Glover
Danny
and Mel
Glover.
Gibson, I think.
Okay.
So you have Mac and who was it? Was it Charlie?
I think so. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's crazy. The show is supposed to
Bad.
be offensive. It's supposed to
Unorthodox.
be.
Yeah. Horrible. Horrible
Dude.
people.
You know what, man? I don't know what any of that has to do with the police brutality stuff. Nothing. It makes no sense.
No.
Whoa, man. You know, John, you saw the tweet from John Cleese earlier.
Yeah, it's
He's got this
hilarious.
really great segment that he did 30 years ago.
Yep.
And he talks about the benefits of being an extremist, and it's awesome.
It
He's
is.
like, if you're an extremist on the left, you know, he basically says being an extremist gives you the ability to blame everyone else for all of your problems. You can be an aggressive, mean person and still think you're a great person doing
feel
all these
good,
good things.
yeah.
And you're morally justified to be such.
Yeah. And I love how he's like,
Perfect.
when you're on the left, you have a select group of people you can oppose, like the government, the major corporations, the media, and he's like, and of course, moderates.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and if you're on the right, you can oppose migrants and, you know, this group and whatever. And he goes, and then of course, moderates.
And I was like, yes.
Yes,
Exactly.
Actually, us poor moderates.
Here.
So anyway, let's read this first story. Minneapolis City Council unanimously votes to abolish its police.
It was unanimous.
Unanimous.
Yeah,
Wow.
Dude, these people have lost their minds.
That's the blue. Vote blue.
There have
Right.
been several studies
good.
that have come out. Out of every single group polled, every possible demographic, college degree, no college degree, dropouts, 30 plus, 45, 65, whatever, male, female, black, white, Mexican, whatever. They all said no to defunding the police, except one group. Self-described liberals was
Seriously?
the only group, according to YouGov, that said they had a plurality saying defund the police.
With higher education, right?
So no, the even higher education said no.
Oh.
Yeah, so people
Wow.
with postgraduate degrees said no. I don't know who these people think they're pandering to.
Who's in control there then?
Dude,
If that's the case.
this is the reality right now, and I've been saying it for a long time, and this is why I think we are on the right side. If the polls over and over and over again say that no, don't defund the police, but they do it anyway,
Yep.
clearly this is insane. Like, this makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats themselves have tried to reject this. Bernie Sanders says no.
Right.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, Biden's campaign is like, whoa, 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 whoa. The thing, we shouldn't do that thing.
You know,
Yeah, you know the
listen,
thing.
Listen. Trump crossed the line first. He squeezed them. He hammered them, and he made them desperate. In their desperation, they
Yep.
turned to a group of people they didn't quite understand.
Yep.
That's the Batman. So I don't really think Trump crossed the line first. I think Trump is a symptom of everything that was going on. But you had all this insanity in culture, which resulted in people saying they're going. You know, a lot of people wanted to vote for Trump for a few reasons. One of which was political correctness.
Yeah.
And then the left went insane. They lost, and they didn't know why they lost in 2016. They're doing the same playbook. So then what do? They start pandering to these lunatics on Twitter. Twitter will ban a conservative, but they will let the far left go insane. Jack Dorsey himself will glorify violence, no repercussions.
Yeah.
And then what happens is these people see this stuff and they think this must be real life. Must be. You know, the funniest thing I heard was, I can't remember which journalist said this, but they were like, you'll often hear critics on conservative and right-wing pundits say that Twitter isn't real life. What they're really saying is certain voices aren't allowed at the table.
What?
Yep.
Oh.
Their argument is that Twitter allows marginalized voices a chance to speak up.
Okay.
And those that argue it's not real life are arguing that these marginalized voices aren't actually of merit. No, it means that there is a fringe group of wackos who don't even represent those marginalized groups, convincing people they do, and convincing the entire city council to abolish its police department. So they say they're going to replace it with community-led public safety system, while NYC leaders push plan to cut $1 billion from the NYPD budget.
Well, what is the regular NYPD budget?
I think it's like $6 billion.
$6 billion.
I could be wrong. Maybe they'll bring it up. Let's read a little bit.
Wow.
They say the move comes days after a veto-proof majority of the council voted to disband the police department after the country erupted in protest, and we know all about that. Thank you for informing us. The Minneapolis vote was cast as New York City Council pushed to cut $1 billion from the NYPD budget. So we have the tweet. The tweet says from the city of Minneapolis, the city council unanimously approved a resolution today declaring the intent to create a transformative new model of cultivating safety, committing to a year-long process of community engagement to guide the work. So it looks like we won't actually see any direct action for a year. One thing we will see, though, over this year, I'm willing to bet tomorrow, all property values in Minneapolis are down 40%. Some ridiculous number.
Wow.
Maybe even 80 or 90. Maybe even like just nothing, just gone.
Negative.
It might
who's
be.
moving in?
No, it might.
Who's gonna pay to move in?
Right.
Abandoned
When you got
properties.
places like Chaz happening, it's like they're just gonna move in and be
Yeah.
like, "You want us to pay? No. This is our country now." That's what they are saying. Chaz is. They're renouncing their citizenship.
Are they really?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Whoa.
No.
I didn't
Yes.
hear about that.
What?
I've read it from multiple sources.
Oh
That
my
people down there
God.
are
That people are there like, this is they're holding guns. They're like, this is our country now. We are no longer U.S. citizens. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I didn't believe it at first. And then I saw it from another source. I'm like,
You know what-
wow,
You know what's really funny is,
this is crazy.
did you watch the Dave Chappelle thing yet?
I have.
You see how he called Don Lemon? What did he call him? A dose of reality, or like, but sarcastically?
Yeah.
He's like that piece of reality.
Right.
Don
An
Lemon.
insult.
Don Lemon.
It's powerful, though.
Don Lemon is an idiot, but anyway, I bring that up because CNN is trash.
Yeah.
And Oliver Darcy, who is their media reporter,
Mm-hmm.
wrote the weirdest story that armed Antifa isn't taking over a portion of Seattle, and then in the story he says, "Yes, it's true that they've taken this over."
He snoped them.
Yes, right.
Sure did.
Yep.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing about it is that when Antifa is invoked, he and so many others go, Antifa's not even a group.
They're not even real.
And then as soon as it comes to the question of whether or not Antifa-affiliated groups are taking this place over, he goes, well, Antifa isn't there. Other groups are. And it's like, wait, hold on, man. Now you're of the persuasion that Antifa is an actual group?
Yeah.
No, he's lying.
Yeah.
The best part is, though, CNN had an on-the-ground reporter, right?
Okay.
And the guy's talking, and he's like, it's very peaceful, and everything's fine. Then someone jumps in front of the camera and starts yelling, trying to block him, because he's trying to shut down the shot. So he starts calling for people to shut down CNN, calling him racist. The guy moves, and then he says the most ridiculous thing. But he says something like, the people here are armed, and so there is a potential for bloodshed if law enforcement tries to remove them. It's like, okay.
So which is it?
Is it peaceful? You mean to tell me the peaceful anti-fascists will shoot at cops? The peaceful law-abiding citizens? Nah, I'm sorry, dude. CNN, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So let me show you this. Now, I don't know. So the tweet says 18.6% of Minneapolis's total real estate listings have popped up for sale in just the last 7 days. And they show two tweets. One, the unanimously passes resolution to replace police department with a community-led public safety system. And then we have this, which shows, they did a search for the past 7 days. 18% of the listings popped up in the past week. Here's what I did. I pulled up Zillow. I chose a bunch of other cities.
Okay.
Cincinnati, Boise, Idaho. What else did I pick? Topeka. Mm-hmm. I didn't really see a pattern. Anything you could prove.
Okay.
Like, in the past 7 days, a bunch of listings have popped up on a ton of different cities.
Okay.
This does seem to be the highest I did see, but I saw, like some was like 8 to 12%, and then this one was 18. So maybe that 6%. I just chose random cities. It's not like that it proves anything. It does seem like there are a little bit more properties being listed than other places, but it might just be normal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could also be that everyone is leaving every single city.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in real estate, so anybody, if you guys are listening, if you guys work in real estate, is this normal for 18% of all listings to have appeared in the past week? It's 18.6, I guess.
Seems like a lot.
But I will add this because this kind of adds to it. June 3rd, mortgage demand from home buyers jumps 18% as interest rates set another record low. It sounds like they're saying mortgage demand, home buyers, because the rates are great. June 3rd.
Sure.
What was happening on June 3rd? What was happening on June 3rd?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what happened on June 3rd?
No.
You don't-
What
you don't-
happened?
Are you serious?
9 days ago.
Oh, no.
You don't-
Something
none of you
happened.
remember-
I don't remember.
None of you remember what happened on June 3rd?
I hate you right now.
Are you kidding me, dude? It was a
can't
week
remember.
of riots across the country.
Is that when it started?
That's a week of riots. What happened exactly on June 3rd, Tim?
People were running around
Specifically.
burning things and
that-
thring bricks
Oh,
at
that's
cops.
so ambiguous.
Like
I want a
I know.
specific
We need, like, a
example.
specific day.
Someone
I
threw a
thought-
brick at a cop.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, is that
Right.
what happened?
Dude, this was
I
going.
mean, sure,
when
riots
did-
were rioting.
Yeah,
you know,
it's been
cool,
going on. It
but
feels like
I
forever.
was expecting some specific thing.
Like an
like
explosion.
a meteor
I knew it was a
crashed into a
trap.
city.
I knew it was a trap.
June 3rd. What? I don't know what happened. And
I could
specifically,
look it up.
it was
You
just
don't wait, Tim. You don't know what happened June 3rd?
any specific events.
This article
Yeah.
came out.
no,
Oh, that's what
spare
came
me.
out, yeah.
June 3rd, we all knew what was going on for the whole week.
It's true.
Yeah.
We
Why
did.
would
yeah.
mortgage demand be skyrocketing at that time?
That's
And
weird.
CNBC is like, interest rates are at a
Oh,
record low.
so
Oh, that's
strange.
why.
Oh.
Nobody's paying attention to the explosions happening outside their windows when they live in these cities. It's just a
mystery.
coincidence. The rates are down, and so they're like, I'm going to go buy a new house somewhere else.
Yeah. Somewhere
In
far
San
from
Francisco,
here.
they're fleeing. In New York, they're fleeing. In Chicago, they're fleeing. Everybody is getting out,
Yeah.
and everybody can afford it. What do you expect, man? So you know what's going to happen in Minneapolis, in my opinion? So they said it's a year-long plan to abolish the police or whatever and replace them.
You know, can you go back to that original article you were reading from?
This one?
So, the city council unanimously approves a resolution today declaring the intent to create a transformative new model of cultivating safety and committing a year-long process of community engagement to guide work. That should have been number one before anything else.
What do you mean?
The cops can be included in that. Like, if we cultivate this, if they do this and it's successful, like, you can have police officers and that. Like, that sounds great to me. I
You know what
like
this
the
is?
sound of that.
Reform.
Right.
Good idea. And in fact, some of the higher profile Black Lives Matter activists have been saying reform.
Yeah.
And then the extremists broke through the dam. So I look at it this way, right? You have a dam that requires a certain amount of stress before it finally breaks, and that's when you get reform.
Yeah.
Finally, the dam broke, but now there's too much and it's flooding the town below. Instead of getting just enough through to make positive change, humans don't do that. Humans are unfortunately, they go over the top.
Yeah.
So finally now we have a real opportunity to fix things. And what do? Abolish, defund.
Way
and
over
and,
the
and
top.
in the Chaz, they're calling for abolishing the courts.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, Chaz,
you imagine?
Chaz isn't the states anymore, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, they're a different kind of
They've
country.
declared they're their own country, so they can do away with whatever they want to do.
Yeah,
They
they're
have
doing
no
their own
they have
thing.
no say of what
Didn't-
we do in our country anymore.
Didn't someone say the other day that we should put up a border around that area and
Yeah.
then set up checkpoints?
Yeah.
And you got to get a passport to come in and out. Put some CBP at the streets.
Yep.
They wouldn't last.
And there's going to be import and export. You want to bring in food?
Tax.
Yep. Taxes, exports,
you're
tariffs.
taking food from our country?
Oh,
Sorry.
excuse me.
No
There's
electricity.
Oh, yeah, no.
You got
that's not gonna
tariffs on
work.
that.
Yeah.
So I got to mention this though. One of the funniest things I've seen, because the libertarians are all like jumping up and down and hooting and waving their arms in the air, because
Not all of them.
No, they are, because the chief of police said something like, the activists are going to businesses and demanding payment in exchange to operate in the area.
Yep.
This is the crime of extortion. And so all the libertarians are like, did they just admit taxes are theft? Yes. Going to a business and demanding money for them to operate?
Yeah, but
They called it extortion.
there's a difference between just saying you need to pay us to live here, because you were just saying cut off their water, cut off their food, cut off the ability to have access to all these things that taxes help pay for. So there is
Right.
kind of an argument for that. It is a little
Well,
different.
no. The argument against that is you can't cut off the water to the residents who have nothing to do with this.
That's true.
A bunch of weirdos put blocks in front of the streets, and other people who live there have to deal with it.
And yet you said it yourself yesterday. If they're not asking for our help, if
Right.
they're not asking for
Yeah, good
help,
point.
why should we feel bad for them?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're-
No.
They're
It's-
sitting in there, in the Chaz country, I guess.
In
It's
Chaz.
Chaz, yeah.
Yeah.
The country of Chaz.
I don't feel bad for them at all.
Okay.
Like, a lot of these people are coming outside and dancing and waving their arms in the air. Like, there are posts on Reddit where they're like, this is the greatest day of my life. It's the coolest thing. I live here. This is so awesome. I'm letting people come hang out and take showers. They love it.
Yep.
So this is what I was saying. This is what people need to understand. You can't assume they hate it because you might hate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people project how they would experience something. And so, look, if I lived there, I'd be unhappy. I'd be
too.
like, this is awful.
You'd be leaving.
These people are crazy. No, I'd probably cause trouble.
Yeah.
I'd
Would
like,
Of course you would.
I would like lean out my window and like call myself King, King Chaz or whatever. And I'd be
Cool.
like, I it's my property. It's mine. And
Yep.
I would get buddies and they would put on like cardboard armor and
You're
stuff.
a
A
mafia.
true roof Korean.
Dude, yes.
Yep.
And then
see it.
I would get friends to wear cardboard armor with cardboard swords and stand in front of the door.
Cardboard swords.
Yeah, because it's silly. I'm trying to be absurd and cause trouble,
Okay.
That's what I would do if I was there. So I got to admit, I probably wouldn't be unhappy.
I don't think Raz would let that happen. He seems pretty
What's he going to do?
authoritative.
What's he going to do?
I don't know, man.
Nah. Not. See, if I lived there, all right, I'd have my cardboard soldiers out in front.
Sure you would.
I would. I absolutely would. It would be the silliest, stupid nonsense ever. But anyway, the point is, yeah, I probably wouldn't be unhappy. I'd be like, this is ridiculous and silly. And, however.
Yeah, until you needed food and you had to go through their checkpoints and bring your food back, and they go, oh, okay.
No, dude.
Half that food's ours now.
I'd cause so much trouble. You have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd get into fights.
Yeah, I know, and that would lead to your undoing in Chaz.
In Chaz?
You're being so optimistic. It's not,
dude.
It's not like you, man.
If I was at Occupy Wall Street.
Okay.
Right. If I lived in a building, if right now people set up on my block, I would cause an insane amount of trouble for these people.
Occupy Wall Street is not the same as Chaz.
Oh, come on, man. What's the difference? Guys with guns? What are they going to do?
They leveled up, man.
They leveled
Think
up.
so?
It's
No.
Occupy leveled up.
They seem kind of incompetent.
I agree with that.
That may be true that they're incompetent, but they're also demanding things from the government, getting things from
So
the
was
government.
Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
Declaring it their own country.
That's right. That's just silliness.
You say that now. You say that now.
You think it's gonna grow?
Yeah.
Well, according to the governor, it's not.
Probably
Who
not.
now seems
He's
to
aware.
know about the situation.
He's aware of the situation.
Didn't even know what was happening in his own state, and he has the nerve to criticize Trump.
Yeah.
Well,
Trump knows what's happening in your city, and you don't, and you think Trump's doing a bad job?
Yeah,
Shut
it's
up.
ridiculous.
Seriously, this guy ran for
Hold on,
president.
Where's his tweet?
Hold on.
Which one?
So
No,
this
no, no,
this tweet here.
There we go.
So let me just shout out to Patriot Zero on Twitter. Hit me up with this. And this is from the Seattle government website. It's basically showing a corner in Chaz. And I'll read it here. It says, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, East Pine between 10th Avenue and 12th Avenue. Start date is the 7th. End date is the 20th. So supposedly there's an end date from the governor's website. Why? What does this
he was
mean?
aware of it?
What does this mean? Yeah. Was he aware of this?
Yeah. That's weird.
This is... What?
It could
5 days ago was started.
Yeah.
It could just be that they have to enter an end date when they database something.
Okay.
But it could also be that they're planning on making a move.
Yeah.
And so they have a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could have put, 9999999 or whatever. Instead, they gave a definitive date, a definitive time. I won't be surprised if they come in and sweep everybody in the Chaz out. But when asked about it, check this out. We have an article. The Seattle mayor says she doesn't know how long Chaz occupation will continue. Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin jokingly said we could have a summer of love when asked how long Seattle's police-free zone could remain in place. You know what I love about Chaz?
What do you love about it?
It's they conquered it, right?
Okay.
They're colonizers. Mm-hmm. They found land that was already owned and occupied. They came in with rocks, bottles, and guns.
Sounds familiar.
Set up walls to keep out undesirables,
Yep.
and then declared it was their town.
Checkpoints.
Yep.
An authority figure.
Border
and
Patrol.
Border Patrol.
Everything's
Patrol.
there.
ID checks.
It's
Yeah.
a mini police state. I love it.
Yeah, man.
I
Warlord,
love
dictators.
What are they fighting again?
Yeah. I thought that was what they were not.
See,
going
this
for.
is what I was trying to explain to people. Like Occupy Wall Street,
Mm-hmm.
they don't actually want to change the system.
No, they want the power
just
for
want
themselves.
to own it.
Yep.
They want to be on top of the system.
They want
So
a piece of the pie.
apparently there was a tweet going around where somebody tried to create an autonomous zone inside Chaz.
I saw
You
it.
saw that? Yeah. What was that? What was that all about?
The memes write themselves. I don't know what was
And they
behind
stopped it.
that.
I don't know. See, that's what you would have done. That's what you were just saying.
Oh, totally.
So you
I
would
would-
have tried to make your own little
Autonomous
If,
zone.
Poolville.
if I
Yeah.
lived in a building, okay, if I lived in a building,
this
inside
building is now
Chaz.
mine.
I would block off my sidewalk and say, "Don't come near me. I live here,
Okay.
and you're the conquerors coming to steal my land, bigot, colonizer." And I would scream "colonizer" in their faces if
Yeah.
they kept, and I would just scream at the top of my lungs. You ever see those videos where there's like a viral video right now where these cops are trying to talk to some woman,
Yes, I've seen that.
and then she just goes, "Wah!" and the cops are like, "Bye," and they just turn
we're
around and walk
leaving.
away.
There,
That was in Portland.
which one? There's
Oh,
like
yes,
a million
yeah.
I
of
know,
those
I
videos.
know, I know.
Yeah, that-
What let's just talk about that for a second. What is with these people who think, oh, I don't like what you're saying. I am now going to scream at you on the top of my lungs over and over and over again.
These-
How is that your argument? How is that logical?
So listen, man. When I was little, when I was younger, I got arrested skateboarding, and you know what I did when they went to arrest me?
What did they do?
They walk up, grabbed my arm. You know what I did as soon as I grabbed my arm?
What?
Put my hands behind my back. They sat me down. They put me in cuffs. They said, "You're under arrest," and I said, "Nothing."
Smart.
Yeah.
It was just like, for what? And they were like, I don't know. They said something stupid. Didn't make sense. And the cops came, and I just didn't say anything.
Okay.
And then they tried giving me a felony.
What?
Yup.
They didn't tell you what it was?
They said it was criminal damage to federal property because I was skateboarding downtown Chicago.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And so when it came time to actually go through processing, the cops were like, one cop was like, "Are you kidding me with this dude?" And he's like, give him damage to a state-supported location or something, which is a misdemeanor.
Okay.
And then when I finally went to court, the judge looked at it and he goes, he like, they called my name and he looks at it and he goes, "Excuse me, what is this?" I don't know who spoke up. I think it was the DA or the ADA or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, the defendant was skateboarding down in Chicago. And then he goes, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
And he goes, Get out of my courtroom. And then he said like SOL or whatever. I don't know what it meant. It was like, they're just disregarding it, but they could bring it back if they want to.
That happened to me.
And I just
three
walked out.
times in
I just
New
walked
York.
out.
Same
Yeah.
thing, man.
There's a reason I bring this up though. Like a lot of the protest stuff that we're seeing, Look at what, did you see what they did when a guy got accused of theft?
Who's they?
The chess people.
Chaz?
Yeah,
No,
the chess people.
I didn't miss that.
They surrounded the dude and started screaming, "What did you do? What did you do?" And he's saying, "I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything." And they said, "Why did you run? Why did you run?" And someone's holding a baseball bat.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, man, you do not want to be accused by a mob who can't prove anything.
Yeah.
Because they'll just start wailing on you. Like when that Raz dude.
If only there was something like checks and balances and like a system that is in place to handle that kind
Prevent
of
this
stuff.
from
You know
happening.
what I've noticed in a lot of these videos?
What?
And I know I'm going to get accused of privilege and all that other stuff, man, but let me just start by saying, mixed race family, south side of Chicago, spare me and shove it. When the cop would walk up to me and start talking, I wouldn't talk to him.
Yep.
I'd just be like, I got nothing to say. And if they pressed me or detained me, am I being detained? And if I got arrested, you know what I did? I got arrested a couple times. You shut up, you put your hands behind your back, and you deal with it when you can. Screaming and fighting and saying, "For what? For what? For what?" All that does, this is what I see in a lot of these videos. The cops will walk up and they'll be like, "What are you doing?" And then the people will be like, "You can't talk to me. I can do it." And then now you're fighting with the cops.
Yep.
Then the cops will be like, "Show me your ID." And then they give them, they badmouth. Yeah, okay, I get it, man. The cops can't do some of these things. The cops are allowed to detain you for a brief period. They're allowed to detain you and trying to ascertain your who you are or whatever. Some of these, I think, are some of these stops you see in these videos, are complete BS. But I got to tell you what, a lot of these videos, people resist for no reason in stupid ways. And so, what I was told when I was little, when I was like 14, I was basically assaulted by the security guard at this carnival, sitting at my friend's house. He came up to my friend's house, started telling us to leave. I guess he thought that we were like carnival.
From the carnival.
Yeah, but we weren't. We were like, my friend was like, "This is my house." And he's like, "I don't care, leave." And he's like, "What? No, it's my house." So the guy grabbed me and started poking me, calling me stupid and whatever. So I think I was like 14. I called my dad and said the guy grabbed me and like left a mark.
Yeah.
Turns out the guy was a retired cop. And so what happened was when the police showed up, they walked up and said, we watched him walk up to the retired cop, start laughing, shake his hand. The guy who assaulted me walked up to me and said, "So do you want to get arrested for trespassing or do you want to go home now?" And we were like, "What?" My dad was like, "We'll leave." And then as we're leaving, my dad was really angry.
Yeah.
And he's like, "We're going to go file a complaint with Internal Affairs." And I was like, "But that's just it. He gets away with it." And he goes, "Yep. Because in the real world, you got to choose your battles. Do you want to spend the next 3 or 4 days dealing with bad cops who are going to mess with you, or are you going to walk away, use your time properly, and not get into a fight with people who happen to be bad and abusing the system?"
That is smart.
So he filed a complaint, and that was the end of it. And they probably got away with it. And you know what? It sucks. But I learned something that day. My dad said, choose your battles.
Yes.
Because you might feel you're justified, you might feel you're right, but they have power and they will use it, and you got to be smart about how you respond. So later in my life, when I got arrested, I shut up, let them do their thing, and then afterwards, I win. That's it. A lot of people enter these situations thinking, I'm high and mighty, you can't do this, this is America, whatever. It's like, bro, they can lie, and people will side with them. I'm not saying it should be this way. I'm saying if you don't realize what the game is and you try and enter this because you think you're better and you think you'll win, you're an idiot. You ever see that video where the two guys are like, it's like they're like, I don't know, Italians or whatever, and they're like, "What do you do when a cop talks to you? Shut the up." And I was like, they keep saying it over and over again. It's hilarious.
Okay.
What if a cop says, "Where you from?" Shut the up. What if he says, "What'd you have for lunch?" You shut the up. And there's another video where a guy's like, if you're ever stopped by a cop, you say, "I don't answer questions." That's it. Nothing else. If they ask you again, I don't answer questions. So you got to understand why the system is in place. There was like this thing written up by a Supreme Court justice talking about why you never talk to law enforcement ever under any circumstances, period. And people don't get it. They think that, oh, but I'm not a suspect, so I can help them out.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're a suspect or not.
That's true.
And then they can use whatever against you. So, you know, man, I've been contacted by law enforcement over the past several years. I just ignore it. I'm not going to talk to you. Sorry, man. You guys created this lopsided system, and this is how the game is played. Anyway, without going off on too much of a tangent, at least you have recourse, right?
Well, everything you just said proves that the police department needs a reform.
I completely agree.
And
Yeah.
that isn't
Right.
even a question. We all believe that.
But listen. The reason I bring that up is to point out that you might not like the fact that cops use arrests as punishment. They do that in New York City.
Yeah, they do.
They know that they can arrest you for anything and make up whatever they want, and then the charges will be dropped and you'll be let out in 2 days or whatever, but they know that's punishment to you. And they know people are scared of it. There was a big problem during Occupy Wall Street. They literally just snatched someone up. I watched them pull up in cars and just grab a guy. And they were like, "What?" Yep. So yeah, there definitely needs to be reform, for sure.
Absolutely.
But you know, there doesn't need to be the abolition of the police department because they have problems. Because then what ends up happening is you see this video where they surround a guy screaming at him like a bunch of morons who can prove nothing and have no idea what happened,
Yep.
but they have a feeling. Well, someone said it's him. And then you get your teeth knocked out by some
scary.
lunatics.
For doing nothing.
Yeah, at the very least, what I'm saying is, right now, you have mob justice or you have a pretty crummy system. Not the worst in the world, but it's got some problems.
Right.
Actually, I'd say it's relatively good compared to like most other countries.
Okay.
So when I got arrested and they lied, I won in the end. And I got jammed up, and it took me a long time, and I had to spend money I didn't have. And it was the skateboarding one was nothing. I got falsely arrested. I consider it a false arrest because riding a skateboard down to Chicago is like a petty offense. But they wanted to make an example of skateboarders, I guess. So they decided to lock me up overnight. And that was the worst of it. Then I had to take off a day of work or something, go to court. Yeah, and it cost me money.
Yep.
And the judge threw it out. If I had started screaming and saying, you can't do this to me, you're lying, blah, 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 and fighting with them, they would have added on a ton of ridiculous charges. And then I would have been jammed up for a lot longer. So you have your choice between, this is how policing was for me in Chicago. I could choose that, or I could choose a bunch of angry pitchfork wielding, mobs to go around smashing windows and screaming in my face about what I did wrong, because they know, because someone said. I'll take my chances with the cops and try and work on reform.
Yeah, and Chaz has existed for what, 4 days, 5 days now?
Yep.
And
And it's
they're
worse
already
in every
declaring
capacity.
mob justice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
It's worse in every regard over there.
Yeah.
Like-
it's a scary place. I
And
wouldn't want to live there.
and you know what the problem is? I'm sure there are people who live there who are unhappy.
Definitely.
But here's
and scared.
But they can't say anything.
Yeah, they're scared.
If they say anything, the activists will find out. They'll call them bigots, white supremacists, or whatever. They'll lose their jobs.
Yep.
But they got to do it. Man, if I was there, I kind of wish I did. I kind of wish it. I kind of
No,
wish
you
I had a
don't.
place. Oh, I do. Are you nuts? I love it.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
I don't believe you.
You're
Don't
wrong.
believe
You're
it?
100%
Oh.
wrong.
Oh, I believe
You
it.
are absolutely wrong.
You're telling me I'm wrong for not believing you.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Nice, dude.
You are 100%.
My belief is my belief.
I traveled the world
What?
going into places like this on purpose for a decade.
Yeah, I believe that.
And
I
I would
know that for a
absolutely
fact.
Right.
enjoy
Yeah, that's
these
fine.
people trying to get up in my business and block down my building and tell me what I can or can't do.
This is me laughing at you for not saying no to my beliefs.
Well,
He's just contradicting
yeah,
you because this is what he would do.
you have a factless,
Funny.
non-backed up opinion
Sure.
on what I've done with my life and what I would want and what I would do. So it seems to me ridiculous that you would try and claim I wouldn't enjoy something I literally did for a decade.
No,
I-
I'm just saying I don't believe that you would.
That I would what?
Enjoy it.
Absolutely would.
I know you're saying it.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you're wrong. Completely wrong. I would enjoy it. I'm telling you right now I would, and I would.
Okay.
I purposefully went down to Occupy Wall Street. I went to the West Coast for their occupations. I went to Egypt. I went to Ukraine. I went to Venezuela. I went to Morocco. I went to Brazil. I went to Turkey. I went to all these countries to see exactly what they were doing and get on the ground and experience what was going on. If I lived there, I'd be very, very happy.
You got the van out there. What are
I
you
do.
waiting for?
Yeah, that's why I built the van.
I'm working on something else right now.
Okay.
If they occupied my street, I'd have a go of it. I'd walk up and tell the people blocking the barricades, in less friendly terms, move and don't come back. Period. Who are you? I'm the guy who lives right there. Yeah, end of story. And then and if they wanted to assert their chazziness and I lived there.
Chazziness.
Yeah, their chazziness.
Love
But
it.
this is the Chaz Autonomous Zone. I'll be like, well, I'll tell you what, buddy. You're gonna have to beat the crap out of me to stop me from taking this space as mine. End of story. You can't come into my place, colonizer, and take my home away from me. Yeah, and I'd point the finger at all the stupid white lefties who think they have the right to take the land away from the people who actually live there. Now, let's be real, though. I think most of these people, they live in Seattle. They're in Capitol Hill. It's a hipster neighborhood.
Yeah.
They're probably dancing in their little sundresses and having a good time and going, woohoo, you, and then
We don't
ordering.
have to pay rent anymore. We could just tent in this grassy area.
Yeah, we don't even have
You
to
see
work.
all the
Well,
tents that are
It's
popping
great.
out?
Oh
Yeah,
my
but the
God.
people
many
who
times.
live in the buildings are probably like clapping and happy.
No, I don't know about that.
I think so. I think the businesses might be upset over the attempts at shaking them down. But, dude, I lived in Seattle briefly. I'd hang out in Capitol Hill. Those people, like I've been to this park. These people they're hipsters, man.
I see. That's what they look like.
Right.
Yeah.
This is right up their alley. It's probably why it's allowed to stay there right now because no one's complaining.
It's not a threat.
There's no locals to be like, hey, get
They're
out of
not-
here.
They're not burning the city down. The
true,
governor's
too.
probably like, oh, good. Let them just have
There-
that spot, so they stop burning down the city.
There was something funny that
Everywhere.
happened though. There was some women from the African American Council,
Okay.
or something from the local. They like liaise with the police.
Okay.
Showed up and complained that these people were hijacking Black Lives Matter. But they got booed.
Okay.
So you get a big group of white people
Yeah, I did see that video.
claiming they're there for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And then when the black women are like, putting taxes on Amazon has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter, they boo them down.
They're correct.
Dude, these people, man. That's what I'm saying.
Did you see the dumpster fire that lit up?
No, there's a dumpster
like
fire.
literal dumpster fire or just
Oh yeah.
Chaz
No,
in
no,
general?
no. Straight up literal dumpster
Oh.
fire. And you know what they did? You wanna
What'd they
guess?
do?
I bet you can guess.
Oh, ran away? Called the fire department. Called
They
the police.
called the Seattle Fire Department.
Oh, of course they did.
Can you please come and put out this fire
This
that
autonomous
we
fire?
lit up?
Here you go.
My
Here you
goodness.
go. Here you go, Seattle. Check this out. Check this out right here. Look
Wait,
at this.
all right, here we go. Look.
r/Seattle on Reddit.
Snap.
Car tires slashed. Now what? Really? Why? God, 3 tires slashed. Parked outside my apartment in West Capitol Hill. Was this targeted? I don't live that close to protests and park off street. Didn't see any of their cars affected. I don't think anyone hates me enough to do this, or maybe my downstairs neighbor because I've been doing at home HIIT workouts. Thoughts? Happen to anyone else out there? Do you think it's random? I feel kind of unsafe now, and I'm also not sure about parking my car there once I get it fixed. What do I do next? Have you tried calling the police? File the police report, but without cameras, you can't prove anything.
Oh, man.
There you go,
Oh
man.
man.
So this person doesn't live in the zone, right?
Okay.
That stinks.
It's just a good example of people who are in Capitol Hill who are like, help, help, police, I'm being repressed. Yeah. So what do when they have problems? It's like
Yeah.
every video we've seen when like these protesters are throwing stuff and then a guy jumps out of his car with a weapon. Call the cops, call the cops.
Yep.
Help, help. That's how you know they're playing games.
Yep.
They're playing rebels and revolutionaries. They throw stuff. They yell F the police. They put up a big sign. I love this. They said, what, this building is the property of the Seattle people now or something like that. Like it always was, like I don't know what changed
It's
just because.
still Seattle, isn't it?
And it was still community funded.
Right.
These people don't understand what communism is. They don't. They don't understand what socialism is.
No.
So they're like, the police are an oppressive force. And what do you think you would get if you had communism? Do you think there would be no police? Do you think like
It'd be way worse.
So
they,
much
they
worse.
seem to think like each and every one of these people, these communists, believe that if communism is implemented, they're the party leader.
Yeah.
Like, it won't affect me.
Well, no, I'm going to be the leader.
Yeah, I'll be the
I'm not
boss.
going to have to work.
Yep.
You have to work the farms now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
You know, man.
everyone would.
yeah.
Go out and work the farms.
And I
Seriously.
try,
Oh
I
my.
try warning my dumb friends who are probably going to listen to this and they'd be like, is he talking about me? Because they don't understand what happens after you get your socialist or communist revolution.
Right.
Do you know who they're going to go after first? Let's say these violent lefties, far left, authoritarians. All of a sudden, your mass protests sparks an opportunity for a literal revolution. And now you've got authoritarian communists in control. They're going to purge the leftist, the liberal intellectuals like you on Twitter because you were the one who fomented the revolution in the first place. Get it?
Yep.
Is there
They don't want it to happen again against them.
Exactly. They need to make sure that any revolutionary who would stop their takeover is put down first.
And you need to make an example of them, right?
What do you mean?
Like you need to come down on them heavily, I would think.
So that everyone knows.
So that everyone knows this can't happen again.
Yeah. So I'm not, I've been told this is a big thing that they've done historically. Like reading about communist revolutions. And they immediately say, now that we've won, this writer and this intellectual who helped create the atmosphere that generated revolution needs to die. And so I was talking to my friends, and I'm like, let's think about this for 2 seconds. Like, let's entertain this idea. Who are they more concerned about? The conservatives who keep their mouths shut and hide in their homes, or the liberals who are out demanding revolution? The bigger threat are the people who are willing to get up and demand a revolution.
True.
So liberals get the bullet too, they say. And that's when I was reading about the Spanish Civil War and Weimar Germany, or is it Weimar Germany? They both factions target liberals, like John Cleese said in that segment.
If you're moderate,
you're a moderate, they're coming for you.
Everybody hates you.
Yeah, both sides.
But for the left, they need to weed out the competition. They need to make sure that no one challenges them.
Right.
And there's a similar example of this because it's probably true of any takeover. If the communists take over and it's the left, they purge their own faction. But in Egypt, when they had the second revolution and they got rid of Morsi, they went and started just gunning down Muslim Brotherhood. So what happened in Egypt was they had the first revolution where Mubarak got pulled out, and he was the military leader, and then they had an election. The Muslim Brotherhood won because they were the biggest voting bloc, and they just vote for whatever the Muslim Brotherhood said. This resulted in the overwhelming majority of the country rejecting this again, and the protest continued because they mostly wanted a secular government. So then they finally, I was there for this when they finally removed Morsi, and then I'm watching the APCs roll up and people are riding on them and they shut the bridges down. It was nuts. They got their revolution. Then because the Muslim Brotherhood would not stop the protests, the military just went out and started shooting live rounds at anybody who kept protesting.
Wow.
Yeah, so the people who initially fought for the revolution even won their position, then got removed again. So it's not the exact same type of scenario. But if you are the type of person that won't allow the revolution to take place, like you started the revolution, they're going to come for you. They're going to come right for you and be like, you were part of the problem. How many conservatives right now are out protesting? Not that many.
Nope.
Most of the moderates and the conservatives are in their homes preparing for themselves, take care of themselves.
Definitely.
People don't know their names. But you got a big list of revolutionaries, and they're all on the left.
It's true.
Yeah, so when these lunatics take over, yeah, they're going to go for the counter-revolutionaries for sure. So, there are a lot of conservatives who are high profile who would be targeted by them if and when they ever, when they ever did get power. But for the most part, you have a much bigger list, I believe, of lefty intellectual revolutionary types who want power. So it goes back to the point we were making. All of these people seem to think they're going to be dear leader, that they're going to be privileged and in the party when the takeover happens. And you look at what happens in the Chaz. Some random dude takes over, declares himself the new police, and everyone starts going, "Oh no, oh no, what do we do?"
I guess that's the way it is now.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'll put it this way: let's say you've got 100 soy boy intellectual types who are on Twitter right now tweeting like, "This is the revolution. It's time for us to rise up." These people have no capability whatsoever to lead, to be in charge, but there are going to be some physically fit, trained, insurrectionary leftists.
Not good people.
Not good people. They've got weapons, they're zealots, and they're going to be like, who's my biggest threat? These people want my power. They helped start the revolution in the first place. I think we know who needs to go first.
Yeah.
That's why they spray painted on the wall in Berkeley, liberals get the bullet too. They're not going to meet, look, if they defeat so it's like the assumption is they defeat whatever side they need to win. And then they have to figure out which undesirables go first. It's the ones who have influence and would challenge your power, not the dude sitting in his house clutching his gun saying, "Leave me alone." And that's what you can expect if the Chaz expands.
Yeah.
No, I'm half kidding. I don't think. Apparently, they're trying to do something in Portland. Do you see the video?
What?
They're now trying to create a bunch of Chaz-like states across the country. So like Nashville's going to try and do
Nashville.
it. In Portland, they grabbed a barbed wire fence and like tried to create a barricade. They're like,
I did see that.
trying to take over. I guess it failed. I don't know. I love how they love border walls now, though. It seems to be like their thing. Yeah.
Sounds like they work. Crazy.
Yeah, man. But it seems all performative. You know.
Yeah.
Like they're playing a game, but they don't realize that the prizes are real. Like, you know, they think.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't think they're playing a game. Maybe they actually think it's the revolution, and they're just really dumb.
That's so sad. It's pathetic. I feel bad for them.
On the Chaz subreddit, there's a thread now about how everyone's making fun of their garden and like trying to give advice to like fix it. Yeah, something like that.
How about get rid of all of the grass in that entire field, turn that entire field into a garden, because you're going to need that much. That's probably not even going to be enough.
It's not even
food.
enough.
I have an idea.
Not even enough.
Here's my idea for them. They need to go back in time about 2.5 months, plant everything when it's supposed to be planted in the way that it's supposed to be planted, and then maybe they might have enough food for like half the people.
Well,
there you go.
It's Seattle. Winters in Seattle aren't known for being very, very cold.
Yeah.
I remember I was in Seattle, man. What was this? 14 years ago, 13 years ago, and it snowed.
Really?
And then the whole city shut down, and people were panicking.
It's cold there today.
Because the hills. So, man, the hills in Seattle are steep.
That's true.
And when it rains, it's like, sometimes it was like, one time it was raining so hard and slippery, I had trouble actually walking up the hill.
Whoa.
So I lived in Fremont, which is, what is that, like north of Queen Anne, I think? I'm not entirely sure. And you had to walk up
been to Seattle.
this big hill. What is it, the 26th Street Bridge? It's been over a decade.
No idea.
This
Never
sounds
been.
right.
Yes.
I don't
yes. Maybe I can pull up this map and look at where it was. So yeah, it was right here, I think. Right here. Is this it? Is that 26? Aurora Bridge? I lived like right over here. Okay, maybe I'm wrong about the name of the bridge. It was the Aurora Bridge. So I had to walk up right here, and there's a steep, steep hill.
Okay.
And it'd be raining. When it snowed, everybody was panicking because the cars would just slide down the hill.
Oh my gosh.
So they couldn't handle a little bit of snow.
No.
So what do you think's going to happen if it gets cold? I don't know if it'll get cold or whatever, but
I guess it rained.
if this makes it to winter, I think we're gonna have a lot of. Get your popcorn ready. It's like
my popcorn's been ready.
I've been
eating
enjoying my popcorn
all
so
year
far.
long.
I've already been eating the popcorn.
Seriously.
I'm already eating it.
Oh man.
Don't worry, I know how to make more popcorn.
For
Now
sure.
here's what you got to be careful of, right?
Oh, do tell me, Tim.
You see, what the Chaz is basically like, it's like a Venus's flytrap.
Right.
You know, you see this sweetness, and it attracts you to it, and then grabs you, right?
There's a delicious nectar smell in the air.
Yes. What is it? And so what I mean by this is when you watch when you look at the photos and the videos of their desperate, pathetic attempts at whatever it is they're doing,
Yeah.
like putting potted plants on top of dirt in the middle of a park, you laugh.
Yes.
And then you let your guard down.
Yeah.
And then the crazy people expand their borders, and that's the trick. That's the adaptation to survive.
Yeah.
Convincing you they're harmless, so you ignore them while they expand, take more territory, and spread out.
Yeah.
That's actually, I mean, to be real, to be honest, that is a real concern I have. That people are going to be laughing at them the whole time. Other people, I think, are overhyping it. Everything like, oh man, look what they're doing. But I do think there's a possibility that this could get worse if they don't keep it under control. What's to stop them from moving the barriers out and just taking more space?
Well, I guess it's only going till the 20th, so says the governor.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
The
but
Department
Who
of
didn't know about it the
Transportation.
other day? I don't know.
No, you're right. I don't know what exactly that end date means, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It is kind of weird that they would have an end date. Why?
It's Friday? I
Yeah.
think tomorrow and Sunday might be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Because the economy is opening back up. I know a lot of people are out of work, but typically weekends always light up for these things.
Okay.
So during Occupy Wall Street, when I first arrived, it was during the week. There was nothing there.
Okay.
Nobody there. I kid you not, it was like 10 people. And so it was me and a bunch of other people standing under a tarp in the rain. And some like ranking cop walks up in a trench, in like a raincoat, and he waves and he laughs and he's like, good luck. And he walks off. There was nobody in the park.
Right.
It was just like the remnants of the first, few days of Occupy. Because
Okay.
I got there on like day 4 or something. But then that weekend, 1,000, 2,000 people, some ridiculous number showed up. You got to understand.
That wouldn't surprise me if that's what's happening like right now.
Exactly.
I mean, you even said it. Like people around the country are probably flocking to Chaz.
Yeah.
To become Chaz citizens.
Yep.
You know, and have their true freedom, I guess.
And what happens when they add another 200 people?
Could be bad.
Well, that farm isn't going to be enough.
No, they're going to have to
Hard
press their
sure.
borders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to need more space.
Yeah.
And so all they got to do is move the barricade up. So interestingly, in one article I read from the Daily Mail, the new map they have actually shows expanded territory.
Oh.
So the original map showed they only had half of the park. The new map shows they've taken the whole park and barricaded around it.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't know if that's true.
I hope not.
But what would stop them? What's going to stop
Nothing.
them?
Doesn't seem like the government in Washington cares
Or
at
knows
all.
what's going on.
There's a
Oh,
possibility.
they know what's going on.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he knew what was going on when that reporter asked him, and he was like, "Oh,
Just
what's
being
that now?
coy or whatever.
Do you have a good source, a reputable source?" He said. It's like, what?
What? How do you
No,
not know this?
it's it's deniability.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know anything about it,
We're not
so
gonna talk
I'm
about
good.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
he knew exactly what they were talking about. Come on.
Yeah.
What happens if the first few days, it's been 5 days, right?
Yeah.
And so people they need time to get there. And you've got a small handful of like John Brown Gun Club. But CNN did this report where they said there's a potential for bloodshed if they try to remove them.
Or what about when the next potential warlord comes and goes, Raz, you're not doing a good job.
Then what?
No one elected you. No one's going to elect me. I'm warlord now.
Well, I got a better, but right. But
then what?
No, but what happens when that guy who shows up actually has 5 guys with long guns?
And then people start getting shot. Where do those people go?
Well, what happens right now if somebody walked in? Well, what would happen right now if somebody walked in there and said, look at me, I'm in charge now.
Yeah.
And they said no, and then he went, shh, I'm in charge now. And what are they going to do? They're going to be like, okay,
They're
okay,
gonna be like,
okay.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Nothing.
That's what I fear.
Yeah.
Is any of these John Brown Gun Club people going to shoot the guy? Nope. I really doubt it.
They might cock their weapons and be like,
I just don't.
No, you're
nah.
no, you're
Nervous
not.
people.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
know.
I don't know. I have no idea. But
guess
I
we'll
have
find-
I sense something like that coming soon.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, they've already drawn weapons on people apparently.
Really?
The
Oh,
the
wow.
Raz crew apparently pulled a gun or something.
I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
them beat people up already.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
needs to
There's
stop.
videos surfacing of them fighting amongst themselves now.
Yeah.
It's like it's only a matter of time before someone says, "You're not doing a good enough job, Raz. I'm taking
Well, that's
over."
already happening.
Exactly.
They're trying to get rid of him, but
There it
they're
is.
going in the other direction. They're trying to like get rid of him in general, not
Right.
replace him.
Oh, sure.
But here's what I'm thinking,
Until
man.
he's gone, and then it gets replaced.
Yeah.
What would
there's a
happen?
vacuum.
What would happen if, you've got people probably traveling there from across the country right now, far left crazies who are armed and want revolution,
And
they
want to be in charge.
And what happens if they show up and say, "Nah, we're doing this.
Yep.
This is the best chance. Period. Shut up." All the people who are there, what are they going to do? Are they going to leave? Are they going to be like, or are they going to be like, okay?
I think it'll a lot of them will leave. Yeah.
But then if you've created a space where a bunch of people can come in, it's possible that these far lefties do it in the right way. If they come in with weapons, start shooting people, then it's over.
Yep.
Instantly over. Trump's going to send in the military, and people will beg and thank him for it.
True.
But if all of these people start flocking to Chaz, and then all they really do is push the barricade up 10 feet in each direction, no one will do anything. No one will say anything.
At once a day.
Yep. Every day, push it up 10
Few
feet.
inches. Yeah.
And then start taking more and more space.
Yep.
Well, it feels like a lot of the citizens of Washington that don't live in Seattle are like, have at it.
Yeah.
Please take it.
cares?
No one cares about
Right.
Seattle.
They've been upset with the way that the government's been handling that state anyway. So it's like, I have a feeling like states are going to start seceding, splitting up. The divided states of America is coming
Nah,
if
I
that's
doubt
the
it.
case.
I doubt it. I think the sentiment, perhaps.
I mean,
'cause,
they
like,
already wanted to, though.
Which
they
one?
were already talking about cutting ties with Seattle.
the state of
bye.
Jefferson.
Yeah. They're like, we don't want anything to do with these people
But these are the
anyway.
conservatives
Right.
saying, get out of here.
Silent. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. These
Yeah,
are people who...
So the crazy left, people that live there, they're all going to live in harmony until
You know what annoys me?
a certain warlord
You know what annoys me?
comes along. What?
They never do anything. You've got the basically 99% of the territory of Washington
Yeah.
is conservative.
Right.
Now, the population-wise, they have the big city of Seattle, which is overwhelmingly progressive.
Okay.
Who's happy with any of it? And why can't they just say, we're done? You take your city, we're done. Same thing for New York.
That's what I think is going to happen.
There was somebody sent me a message saying that they advocate for the blue cities becoming their own jurisdictions and separating away from the conservative areas. Otherwise, there will be bloodshed.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
But then how do you govern that?
How does that work? Yeah.
Like these cities would collapse overnight.
Well, first step, get rid of the police. Well, they got that done.
And then they would collapse.
What's next?
Yeah.
All the businesses are leaving. The businesses are already leaving. They actually left already. So now they're going to have no businesses and no police force. What is there going to be? It's not a city anymore.
It's not.
Everyone's
it's a shell.
leaving.
They're being flattened.
Yeah. Okay. So it just becomes a regular town that's
Nah, dude.
not
listen,
even.
You know what's going to happen in Minneapolis? We talked about Detroit, right? Chicago is talking about, I think I have this right here. Chicago mayor considers property tax hikes as residents fear exodus from city.
Yeah, that's going to make people want to stay.
Yeah.
They have no choice. They have no choice.
Why? They don't have a choice? They can't leave if they want
The
to?
city has no choice. They
Yeah.
have to raise the taxes. The infrastructure to run the trains does not go down. The cost of infrastructure.
The more they do that, the more people will leave.
It's a cycle.
Yep.
The more they do that,
Yes.
the more people will leave.
Yep.
And it's going
Exactly.
to continue and continue until
Just like
no
Detroit.
one lives there anymore.
Just like
Yep.
Detroit.
Just like Detroit. Yep.
Because
Hey, Chicago, you're doing it wrong.
Yep. But there's nothing they can do. They're in a trap. They have no idea how to escape. It's quicksand.
Yeah.
And they're struggling and they're sinking faster and faster and faster.
It's true.
That's going to happen. So Minneapolis says, we're getting rid of our police. Everyone desperately tries to sell. You know what's crazy, man? Could you imagine if you finally saved up, you turn 30 and you're like, I got like 20 grand saved up for a down payment finally after all these years. And that's probably not a lot of people who have that.
Yeah.
You then buy, you buy in Minneapolis. It's your town, it's your city. And you buy a nice little house. Now the whole city is in chaos.
Yep.
The police department's being abolished and you're like, can I sell? And then you look at the property value and it's down 70%.
So you lost basically all your money.
Everything gone. And now you're underwater. You owe more than the house is worth. You can never leave.
Yep.
Dude, these people don't understand. And then the property value tanks and then the taxes tank with it. And then the city starts making no revenue. And then the water lines fall apart. So they tap into water nearby, which is full of Legionnaire's disease and whatever else diseases.
Yep.
Ugh.
Just like Flint.
And then the majority of people that are lower class increases.
Yep.
The money funnels through to the richest people, which is what they're supposedly
No, the rich
fighting.
just walk away.
Well, no, they're sitting pretty in their comfortable palaces, wherever that is. It's not in the
Right.
cities.
Yeah.
Certainly not Minneapolis.
Even the
Seriously.
people who own good real estate in the city, like penthouses and stuff,
Yeah.
they don't care. So like, our water bill went up another $300. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
They don't care. It makes no
Yep.
difference to them.
But considering all the chaos and the violence, as soon as this happened, a lot of these listings are probably like investment properties, or companies, from companies or something.
Yeah.
Maybe rental properties. I'm sure some of them are people who actually live there. I think most of them are probably people fleeing. But this is the thing that people don't realize. Like, because I also did there's a story came out that private security is skyrocketing
Right. Yeah, I've been seeing this.
because people, because of the
Demand.
chaos.
Yeah.
Like,
there's demand.
So the people that can afford it are just getting their own private security.
No
That's how
problem.
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here,
Yeah.
the meme is, they vote to abolish the police.
Yep.
Rich people then hire private security. Then the left starts complaining about how the poor people have no security and demand security for
Universal
all.
private security.
Universal security. And then they've invented the police.
Yep.
Boom. The
Yep.
police force.
Everyone
That's
has
how
a
that
right
works.
to police.
Correct. Yeah.
This is what they don't understand as they burn their city to the ground. They're going to get a rude awakening in the fact that they don't make anything. You know what the
That's a
problem
good
is?
point. That's why I'm looking at these the farms and I'm like, man, they have no idea what it takes to live on your own.
If the
completely by yourself, yeah.
If the blue areas of this country got cut off from the red areas,
Yep.
they would implode.
They would.
They would just completely implode.
Yep.
People talk about
No
California. California produces a third of our agriculture or something like that, right?
Do you hear the truckers? The trucker union is going, we're not gonna drive into cities
Yeah,
that
why
don't
would
have
you?
police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why
No, we're
would you?
done.
Yeah.
We will not deliver to those cities. It's like, okay, well, that's how those cities get everything.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get anything anymore.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Trucker
Have at it.
strike.
Have at
Trucker
it.
strike is the final. That's it.
Yeah, you
There's
don't
no coming
you don't
back
want the
from
truckers
that.
working for you? Well, good luck.
Well, look at the trucker who tried in what was it? Where was that? Was that L.A. where he
I
drove
think
on
it
the
was
highway?
L.A. Yeah.
They grabbed they pulled him out, they beat him up, they took his phone and opened it up and looked through his texts.
Yeah.
And then he said someone said something like, you know, are you going to do this run? And he says, you know, I'm going to have to do it because nobody else will.
Yep.
They took that and tried to make it seem like he was actually saying, I'm going to run them over because no one else will. What he was really
ridiculous.
saying is that this payload that needs to be delivered, nobody wants to do it because of the protests, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
And
Someone
then
has to give them the food, get the food to these
Seriously.
people.
Well, I think it was like some liquid. It was like a
Man, the truckers are like the blood of
They
America.
are the lifeblood.
Literally.
Seriously.
They are, yeah. I
They're-
got a buddy who's a trucker in Chicago. It's like, man, they do so much work.
Yeah.
Zoom out. Look at the United States and zoom out on Google Maps and look at all of the interstate roads and imagine all of the little trucks like red blood cells carrying oxygen and much needed supplies
Yes.
to the cities.
That's exactly it. Yep.
Exactly.
Boom.
They don't get it, man. We drove across the country for the Rogan podcast during the pandemic,
Yep.
and truckers were still out doing their thing like totally normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keeping the
Keeping us
production
all
line.
alive.
Yeah.
There's no
keeping everyone
food
alive.
with no truckers. There's no
Boom.
skateboards. There's no shoes.
Nothing.
And then I'll tell you what, man. I ordered a bunch of shirts. Many of you may notice I'm wearing a different color shirt.
He is, yes.
Oh, they
Actually-
noticed him.
I actually ordered a bunch of shirts, right?
All different
And they
colors.
didn't come.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Like a month went by or longer.
So weird.
And I'm like, this is kind of weird. I wonder if they got looted. And I got an email.
Okay.
Saying, you know, your shipment is delayed. We're so sorry.
Uh-huh.
Then finally, like a month later, the box shows up. I wonder if they got noticed, like it was all looted, and in order to complete the order. I don't know for sure, but what I do know is this. I ordered a skate ramp, and I got an email saying specifically because of Antifa, they were delayed because the warehouse had to be evacuated due to Antifa rioting.
Like, that's all they gave you? They didn't give any details? Man, I would have had so
They
many
said,
questions.
I got an email. It basically said, due to Antifa activity, warehouse was evacuated. We were unable to complete the order. We're hoping to get it to you as soon as possible, but it's going to be delayed now a couple weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And I saw that in the email, I started laughing. I'm like, due to Antifa activities.
Yeah.
That's
I guess I
hilarious.
can only imagine the PR department or like the sales department for this company is going like, how do we explain this to people? You know?
Somebody got mad.
What do we say?
Yeah. Wow.
How do we explain to them that their order can't come in
Yeah.
and what Antifa is? Dude, you know what, man? I don't know. But I see these videos of people with skateboards whacking people.
I see that too.
I don't believe
Yeah.
they're skateboarders.
You
I don't think so either.
I do not believe they're skateboarders.
Nah.
That's a handy weapon.
Maybe a few of them are,
Yeah.
but
Posers.
You think so?
I think
Supreme wearers.
I think
Yes.
they ride skateboards.
All supremed out.
Supremed out.
What I mean
Yeah.
is, they're probably people who have skateboards. They're definitely not people who know how to do skateboard tricks.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe a little bit here and there.
They're the ones that are like, you see them get on their board and they like struggle to find their balance and then ride straight, stiff. Like, yeah, I'm a skateboarder, I'm
Or
riding.
they just cruise around.
Oh, I'm riding. No, they don't really even know to do that. They can go
Some
straight.
of the boards I saw were like really old, destroyed boards.
Yeah.
And that says to me they're not part of the culture and the community.
Yeah. True.
Because I've seen skateboarders get into fights with security guards, but typically skateboarders are like, I don't know, they flee. When conflict arises, they're like, they jump on your board, you get out.
Yep.
Unless, of course, you're trying to get that trick at that one spot.
Well, you can't start a fight and then want the trick. You got
But
to.
Right.
here's the other thing, too, is of all of the skateboarders I know who are legit skateboarders, nobody wants to break their board.
Absolutely not.
Who's going to whack someone with your board? It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, you'd punch somebody before you use your board,
Especially
right?
not a cop.
Yeah.
Definitely
Skateboarders
not.
are way too apathetic to do this, right? The most I've seen from skateboarders is during all this Black Lives Matter stuff is like the barracks.
Okay.
You know the barracks?
Yeah.
It's like, for those that aren't familiar, it's a big skate website and skate park. They've been posting a ton of stuff. And you know what the most they're doing is? They're posting clips from famous black pro skateboarders that are like great clips.
Yeah.
And they're just doing the normal thing you see from the PR, like, you know, we're trying to, prop up some, skaters in the community and keep make you aware of like their skills or whatever. And I'm like, skateboarding to me. I don't care.
They're good
You know?
skaters. I was like,
I gotta be
tricks
honest.
are good tricks.
I'm not necessarily a fan because all I care about when I watch is, are they doing good tricks?
Yeah.
And that's all that matters to me. If they started putting up people who are like really bad at skateboarding, I'd be like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, you don't got to play. No, but they're legit good skateboarders.
Yeah, they're good.
And really
They're
cool
good.
clips.
Yeah, I follow.
So is that it? Yes. You see these skateboarders going around whacking people, and I'm like, nah, you're not a skateboarder. There's one video going viral where they whack a cop.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, no way, dude.
Yeah, in Miami, right?
Is that yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
so,
And
yeah.
then there's a riot.
No,
bay.
there's a few of the skaters, and it's like they take the board
Yep.
and they just freaking boom on the
Yep.
guy's head.
Oof.
It's like that could kill somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you trying to kill the man?
Probably.
What? Why?
Is that where Riot Bay was? Did you see
I'm
the
not sure.
video going viral?
No, I don't
It's
know.
like a very attractive Miami woman.
Oh
and she's
yeah,
a
yeah,
riot
yeah,
cop,
yeah.
and people are calling her
yeah.
Riot Bay.
They were using that.
Riot Bay.
She was ready, man. I respect that.
Yeah. Anyway, man, I don't know where we all go with this stuff, but when you see the mortgages start spiking,
yeah.
so Cassandra Fairbanks, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she left.
Yep.
She
where
bugged
was she?
out.
Where was she at anyway?
DC, I'm pretty sure.
She was in DC.
Yeah, but like I don't think she was anywhere near the protest or whatever. I think she published a video or audio recording of when she called 911 and she's freaking out like they're shooting at my house. Yeah. If you follow, I think her Twitter handle is Cass Rules, Cassandra Fairbanks. She posted the audio recording of the 911 call when she called, and she's like, they're shooting at my house. What do I do? She bugged out for obvious reasons.
Not surprising.
The funny thing though is I'm seeing a bunch of people like posting on Facebook. How many of you want to move to West Virginia? Like, time to go. I
Yep.
feel bad for West Virginia. You know why? All these city folk moving and bringing their policies and their problems.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of Texans are complaining about.
That's what Coloradans complain about nonstop.
So many Californians are moving to Texas.
Yeah, they're all leaving California.
Yeah, man. What do you think? Do you think you think the Civil War boogaloo chaos
No.
riots in the streets? You don't
No,
think so?
I don't think so. I think
Why?
this because they're gonna finally meet the armed Americans that are like, you're not coming to our
Just
town.
waiting.
You come into my house, I'm gonna kill you, straight up. They're gonna hit that wall, and then all of a sudden they're gonna start seeing others getting killed, and they're like, oh whoa,
But dude,
we were
I'm
just
not-
playing a game.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the
What are you talking about, them?
the Army MP, active duty, who
Mm-hmm.
killed a cop, and said, you know, and then he wrote like in blood boogaloo or something, some ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
And then the other two guys who drove up to New York with a bunch of weapons, and like these people are saying like, we're here to make this happen or whatever, and these are lefty guys. Like, they're the ones posting in support of Black Lives Matter, and maybe they're not really lefty, maybe they're just, you know, they want some kind of revolution or something,
Yeah.
but they're
A couple guys here and there.
active duty.
I don't see it happening, man.
So you've got these generals coming out and defying the president now and standing opposed to him.
Who's
Former.
saying that?
So we had what did we have?
Millie?
No, we had
No,
three.
Millie,
three
Millie
former,
just said I shouldn't have gone with him to the church. That's all he said.
Yeah.
and we had three former Joint Chiefs
Uh-huh.
spoke out
Say
against the
what?
president.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
did-
that he was a Nazi and that he was a tyrant and that he was abusing the rule of law and things like that.
Counting heads?
But how? What,
It doesn't
is that
matter.
all they said?
It doesn't. They wrote a huge thing up and they gave a huge, and then they all started chiming in and yeah, they wrote a ton of stuff about it.
Okay.
And it doesn't. The issue isn't so much whether or not. I guess now they're saying they could be recalled to active duty and then prosecuted or something.
Okay.
The issue isn't so much whether or not they're justified in saying it,
Mm-hmm.
but counting heads started a long time ago.
Man, they they fired the Navy captain who said, "Hey, our ship is infected with COVID. We're sick."
Well,
And
yeah,
they
but-
came down on him.
Yeah.
And
But the argument for that is he basically revealed a major secret of
An entire aircraft carrier
an entire
was out.
yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah, that's you know
How is that?
5 to 6% of our
1/11
Yes,
of our
but
aircraft
and that
carriers.
makes us as Americans seem weak, right?
right.
that he came out and said
Isn't that the reason he got in trouble?
Yeah.
he got in trouble for
How is
exposing
that
a
not any
vulnerability.
different than these guys that are supposedly part of the military saying that kind of stuff?
Also makes us look
What do you
weak.
mean?
How does that not make America look weak?
That they're coming out and saying Trump is bad and all that stuff?
Well, I mean, they're not like a media company that just is saying it and everyone's used to it. It's like actually military members that are saying it.
Right. It's
How-
bad.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. So that's the point I'm making. What happens if Trump wins?
Mm-hmm.
And these people have already announced they stand against him. And then what happens when Bill Barr starts saying, here's the indictments, and he actually names some people, and then the left claims Trump stole the election and cheated or something? You already have riots across the country. You have this weird scenario where the media and the establishment is simultaneously, right now, you've got the Chaz, where people are all sitting around each other watching movies. And what does CNN say? Oh, it's peaceful. There's no Antifa here. The New York Times says they've liberated the streets. Then Trump announces, I want to have a rally. And they say he's violating CDC guidelines. They're digitally burning books.
I'm so sick of the Democrats' double standards, man. All I see is them trying to apply rules, saying, whoa, if Trump breaks these rules, we're going to change it, and he's bad. That's all I'm seeing.
What do you think happens if Trump wins, and then the Democrats file a suit in the courts, and it goes to the Supreme Court, arguing that the suppression of mail-in voting was Trump rigging the election, and the Supreme Court sides with the Democrats and kicks Trump out? Do you think people in America are going to be like, well, they're burning books, they're banning movies, they're banning art, and that's okay?
I don't think the general public thinks that. And that's actually what's happening right now. But it's these little circles.
Where are they?
They're not on Twitter. They're not on. They're in their little bubbles, rooting for Trump, just talking to their friends. Yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump.
And in the 4 years that Trump has been president, all this has gotten worse.
Yeah, because they hate him.
But so these people who are sitting in their homes, not speaking up, saying, yeah, I'm going to go vote for Trump.
Okay.
And then Trump gets elected, and 4 years later, everything's worse. Are they just going to go vote for Trump again? Then it gets worse in another 4 years?
I have no idea.
That's the point I'm bringing up.
I don't know.
When you combine all these things together, it looks like the powder keg is popping off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, we've already seen Boogaloo Boys. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but people, like, there's 3 dudes who got caught with a bunch of weapons recently. And their only objective, it was not necessarily political, it was just to spark things. Then you had 2 guys from Ohio who went to New York, got caught. Then you had the active duty MP who went off and killed the deputy. You had the van pull up in Oakland and shoot the cop.
Yeah.
Like, all of these things are happening.
Weren't those lawyers also handing out Molotov cocktails?
Supposedly, yeah, they're saying they were handing out Molotovs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so when you see lawyers and regular people jumping to the front lines,
anybody can be brought past the edge to go crazy. Anybody.
Yeah.
But just because there is a lawyer that went crazy doesn't mean all lawyers are going to go crazy.
Who said that?
Oh, right, yeah.
No, I'm not saying anyone did say it. I'm just making a point. It's like, just because we're seeing it happen, there's military people that killed a cop. It's like, okay, that's happened in the past too. It'll probably happen again. Sure.
It's one thing when Dorner, writes a manifesto and says, here's why I'm doing this.
Right.
And it's isolated. It's another thing when you have in Oakland, St. Louis, Las Vegas, Minneapolis, these ambush attacks on cops, the Vegas cop being put in critical condition, combined with a bunch of people showing up and seizing territory, to what extent you want to call it seizing. Then you have Minneapolis voting to abolish their police while books are being banned, movies are being banned, and art is being banned. These are all things that we were told together was the sign of the rise of fascism.
Yep, that's true.
So I can only assume that if the left thinks they're the good guys and they're literally burning and banning books and banning art, they're not.
Who was the last people to do that in history?
Yeah, let me think.
Well, I mean, probably Venezuela.
Well, most recently, maybe, yeah. But
sure.
Yeah, whatever communist. China's doing it now.
Yeah.
Speaking
of China, I have a feeling they're behind a lot of this. Who has the most to gain with us going under? Them.
Absolutely.
We found they were bringing in viruses.
Literally viruses.
Paying professors. Now we're finding out Antifa was going into schools to recruit, and it's like, I have a feeling we're going to go to war with China before a boogaloo happens here in the States.
You think so?
Or
yeah, that's what I think.
Well, that's why I said the long shot prediction I had before was that before anything reaches critical mass, there will be some kind of false flag, or I shouldn't call it a false flag, but some kind of attack on us that forces the country to unite against a common enemy. I don't think... It's actually hard to say because I think this goes all the way to the top. Look, if you have Donald Trump accusing Barack Obama of trying to sabotage his presidency, then you clearly have at the highest levels of government a split.
Well, sure enough, there's this thing, I don't know if you've heard, it's called Obamagate.
Yeah.
It's going on right now.
Yep.
A bunch of officials.
Right.
But no one's talking about it. Mainstream media is not talking about it. It's like, what's going on?
Right?
So
what's going on with that?
So this is the point. Even if a war with China broke out, why would any of these high-ranking elite factions side with each other?
So what? Everyone in America is just going to be like, let's just let China win. Well, fine, whatever.
No.
We're not going to fight.
You'll probably get the commies saying, China, help us.
And what percentage would the commies be?
8% maybe.
Okay.
The progressive far left that believe in all this weird critical race stuff.
Yeah.
And then China says, we're going to help you get rid of this person or whatever. But then you also look at the high-ranking government officials, the people at universities who have their, the tendrils that China has reached and corrupted. So I can't tell you, who would accept or wouldn't. But what I can say is, even if we have a common enemy, if it goes all the way to the top, the past president and the current president, are accusing each other and facing a rift between each other.
Yeah.
There's what happens where they finally say, oh, okay, we're good now. Let's go fight China.
That's something I've been saying. It's like you're not even allowed to change your opinion. You can't even have a debate. It feels like you have to maintain whatever side you're on to the death instead of
right.
And that's an issue. We got to let that go. We got to be able to.
No, you're wrong.
What are you talking about? How am I wrong there?
You're gonna agree with people banning books and art?
Absolutely not.
Right. So they're gonna come to you and say, "Nah, I'm not gonna side with you unless we ban your hate speech," and you're gonna say no.
I don't care if people talk hate against me, and that's something we have to have thicker skin, man. Freedom of speech.
Right.
You can say what you want. I don't care what you say.
Yeah,
Who are you to even speak?
They don't agree with you.
Correct. Yeah, but
Well, I don't agree with them.
Exactly. So
Sure.
would you ever unite with them?
With the 8% of the population that thinks the crazy stuff and want to burn books? No, I wouldn't agree with that.
And they're the active left wing in this country. According to the Hidden Tribes, you've got conservatives and progressive activists that are active, and everyone in between is not paying attention. So maybe this sparks a wake up in liberals who become moderate or become active and say, I'm not going to stand for this either. But I'll tell you what, man, when I talk to my liberal friends, and they're actual liberals, they're not progressives.
Okay.
They say, what's wrong with banning hate speech? And I'm like, you actually agree with people who are burning books? Like Amazon is literally, Amazon doesn't have to sell anything if they don't want to. I'm like, and there it is. They don't care. They're not going to get involved. And the active people on the other side are literally, dude, it's not even about the progressive activists. It's about all of our mainstream institutions now collectively just burning everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know, and I'm not going to stand for it.
Me neither. I think it's ridiculous.
Yep,
Yeah.
and I think it's horrifying, and everything that is our country, and everything that even is the West and the United Kingdom and Europe, always stood for against this stuff. We mocked and ridiculed and condemned book burning.
Yeah.
We wrote books about how bad it was to burn books. And now the mainstream culture in our country is actively doing it, and it's getting worse.
You're
every
proving my
single day.
point.
What?
You're proving my point. These people that are so far, these 8% you're talking about, they're so crazy and into
Amazon
that they're correct.
Google,
they need to burn
Facebook,
all these books.
Twitter,
whatever it is. They aren't even. They're so vicious in their thought process. They can't come away from it because it's part of their pride now. It's part of their emotional trigger system. They can't relinquish it. And that is what I'm talking about. That's the problem.
Right.
And there's people all over the place that feel the same way. It's like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. No exceptions. I don't care. I'll hate you because of it. And it's like, what is wrong with people? You have to be able to see the entire situation and accept that you can change. And it's okay to change.
It's this simple. Google has told me I can't say a name. Senator Rand Paul has video removed from YouTube for saying a name.
Yeah.
Our government
Right.
was challenging the impeachment of the president, and Google, a major company, one of the most powerful companies on the planet, deleted that video.
Okay.
These people aren't just a small faction of nobodies. They're extremely powerful.
And yet you're here not saying his name so you won't get banned.
Right.
So you're going along with it too.
Right. I have to choose the compromise. Can I say the name or not, and actually have this conversation to make sure people know what's going on, or do I just burn it all down? But I'll tell you what won't happen is when it comes down to an actual conflict. When come November, if they say Trump cheated and Trump says no, they cheated, and everyone's fighting, will you stand side by side with the people who want to burn books?
No.
And if they came to you,
Definitely not.
and if they came to you said, listen, China's a bigger threat. We need to come together. Just let us burn some books.
No.
No books.
That's what I said earlier, dude.
Right.
The divided states.
That's why I'm saying
I see that happening
there
also.
is
The divided states of America, man.
And that's the point I'm making. There is no circumstance where you can reconcile this divide. TheFreePress.net is the name of their organization, and they advocate for censorship. If our nonprofits that are supposed to fight for the free press support censorship and want to shut down the free press. We are beyond a point where this divide can be mended.
I mean, you said it yourself. If the truckers stop going to the cities and the blue states say, or the blue cities, all the Democrat run everything go, you know what, whatever, we're going to do what we want. And all the red states / farmers and like rural, like Americans that are living in the country go, fine, do you. We're going to keep our food. We're not going to help you. We're going to split off from you. The truckers aren't going to go to these cities. They're going to just, it's going to be a complete structural change. And all those people that you're talking about that are the loudest on Twitter, I guess, the loudest in the 8%, they're going to starve. They're going to starve themselves out.
Or a lot of the truckers just say, hey, man, I don't want to be involved. Just tell me what I got to do to get my paycheck, man.
You think that these truckers are going to drive into a policeless zone where there's a warlords fighting over who's going to be in control next week? It might be, still be Raz, but the following week it might be the next warlord that killed Raz and took his spot.
If it gets that bad, no.
Who knows? I don't know.
They're not.
It's a lawless place.
Yeah,
A guy supposedly stole something,
and they surrounded
him with bats, saying, "What? You took it, huh? Why'd you take it? Why'd you run?" It's like, what? How? They don't know a thing. So it's a lawless place,
right? So then,
why would truckers go in there then?
So what do you think these far leftists who are armed are going to do once the food stops? Do you think they'll just die?
They're gonna go out to the armed Americans and get killed. That's what I said earlier. They're going to be like, you know what? Let's go get the food from the farmers. And the farmers are like,
sure,
come on at us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Come on out.
Yep.
And they're going to rally up all of their townsfolk that all know each other's names. Even the police officers are like, yeah, Jimmy, I got you. I'll come help to protect your farm for sure.
So this is a civil war.
Yeah. If it keeps going and they don't stop Chaz and people keep flocking to Chaz and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger in Seattle, and it will be blue versus red.
And then what happens if at that moment
China attacks? Good luck.
Yeah.
For us, for everybody.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fear we should have as we're facing serious conflict from China. The best time to attack would be when our cities are policeless, setting up autonomous zones, and then so give it 6 months when this starts spreading. If Trump goes in with the military to Chaz, I think it'll make it way worse. Because it'll light people up, and there's nothing you can do about it. Listen, man.
I asked my followers. I mean, granted, I don't. I'm a small little corner in the Twitterverse. I asked when he said, the government in Washington needs to take care of this and end it now, and he was posting law and order. I'm like, who wants him to go take control? I would say 95% of the responses were like, yes, he needs to take control because this is ridiculous.
And then you know what's going to happen?
They're going to blame it on him. And then, how dare he do this? How dare he overstep his bounds?
And then in cities across the country,
they've been pushing him to do this for months now. Oh man, how dare you close down our borders because of coronavirus? How dare you do it? You xenophobe. Oh man, a month later, I would have closed them first. I would have closed them a week before he did it. And it's just like, God, it's everything, anything. If they can pin it on him, they do. It's insane.
I'm
so sick of it.
The hope is that your perception of the divide is correct. So when you look at the polls, it's actually fairly even. And maybe the polls are wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe the Trump supporters are keeping their mouths shut because they don't want to lose their jobs and be attacked by the mob.
I've seen people say that. Like,
listen,
I can't even talk to my family because I'm a Trump supporter and they hate me now.
And why didn't that change after the first time they voted for Trump? Why did it only get worse?
Because the Democrats immediately Russiagate. Once Russiagate ended, impeachment.
But hold on. But
why wouldn't they?
They voted for Trump in secret. Trump won. Now is it finally okay to say that we are part of that silent majority? He won. That proved us right. No, they still remained quiet. They said nothing.
Yeah, because the Democrats went crazy into this whole Russia, and it's like, turns out that was all a lie. It seems like that's something that the Obama administration was spinning.
But it's not changed.
What hasn't changed?
The rhetoric has only escalated. Now they're saying Trump will need to be removed from the White House by the military. That's what Joe Biden just said.
Yeah, Joe Biden said that.
So what happens if Trump wins, legitimately wins, and all the Democrats have to do is say, we have proof he cheated. Like Adam Schiff lied about the evidence he had.
So why would I believe anything that they say?
You wouldn't, but a lot of people do. A lot of people do. 65 million people voted for Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Trump's base is bigger based on certain polls, from like last August in the New York Times.
Well, once Biden picks Hillary as his running mate, it's going to be over for him.
Maybe. But they're not.
It's going to happen. I see it.
They're not running Biden to run Biden. They're running against Trump.
Yeah, and they're not running Biden to run Biden. They're running Biden to be the placeholder. So everybody doesn't get super mad
let me ask you
when
this.
they switch him out with whoever they pick.
After everything that's happened over the past 4 years, from Russiagate, Ukrainegate, impeachment, all this, the lies about COVID,
Okay.
do you think they'd be willing to cheat in the election?
Democrats?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what if they do?
Definitely. And what if they do what?
And what if they cheat?
Cheat to win?
Yeah. Like literally burn ballots and stuff ballots and cheat.
What can I do, Tim? What
I don't know.
What would I be able to do?
I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is getting into government myself. Do I want to do that?
If they're cheating?
No way. Do I have any interest? No, I have zero interest. But this is every single time I ask myself, what is the best way to figure out how to handle this? Because I'm looking at the government. What is the government? Old people.
Yep.
Yeah.
All old people.
Yep.
That are out of touch. They don't get it. They all think they know the answers. They've had a lifetime of thinking that. And now all of them are fighting and bickering amongst each other. It's like, yeah, we need younger people in government.
And you know what the problem is?
That's the answer.
You know what the problem is for you and me?
What's that?
We have no political party.
That's true.
None.
Yeah. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican.
Exactly. You would have been a Democrat 6-7 years ago.
Maybe. I thought I was for a long time.
But you look at the polls and they flip with the far left taking over.
Yep.
And now what do they say? Burn books, ban speech, ban art.
Ridiculous.
Not liberal. And the old school Democrats said, well, whatever gets us power. And Nancy Pelosi's on her way out. She bends the knee to these people because she knows she is the exact opposite of the Greek proverb that a society grows great when people plant trees in whose shade they know they will never sit.
Yep.
Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they are the opposite of that saying.
Absolutely.
They are burning it all down around them so they can have a little tiny morsel of power at 80 years old.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
They're giving everything up.
Years.
And
they've been in government for 40, 50 years, and everything's Trump's fault.
Yep.
He's been in power for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So
but
now
no, it's all Trump's fault. It's not some systemic issue with the way things have been run for a long time. It's like, come on. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
There's probably a potential that if you ran as a moderate Republican in a blue area,
Okay.
you might win. The problem is
No. I would win.
I don't think so.
No?
In a D plus 30 district?
Yep, I would.
You think so?
In a D plus 30?
Definitely.
You think so?
I'm confident.
I guess
people want someone that has at least some semblance of an idea. And you know what? Have you ever watched a documentary about Bobby Kennedy?
No.
Man, what a boss. That dude was awesome. And it's no surprise that he got shot and killed before he would have become president. I believe it. But he went to the rural areas and the poor areas and every area and was like, man, we can fix this. We have to fix this. We have to figure out a way to help everybody. And it's like, that's what we need. I know I'm not a Democrat. No, I'm not a Republican, but I love people and I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to feel privilege.
Pro-life or pro-choice?
I'm pro-choice.
Then you would not win in a Republican district.
Okay.
And you would not win and so right now, the left has become overtly pro-abortion, not even pro-choice. It's funny because when you mention that, they say you're lying, it's not true, we're pro-choice. But it's like when I show my friends the video from Virginia,
Okay.
where Ralph Northam talks about delivering the baby and then deciding after the fact what to do with it, they're like, whoa, wait, that really happened?
Unbelievable.
They don't believe it.
Yeah.
So I'm pro-choice. That's the compromise. But you've either got to be like Michelle Wolf, who goes on Netflix and goes, everybody gets an abortion, you get an abortion, you get an abortion. And I'm like, that's insane. That is psychotic.
So this is another thing that, you know what, if you want to talk about it, it's like, I'll talk about it. We got to figure out why so many people are getting abortions. Sure. You know, it's like there's cases for it, but it's like, that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
What is the reason anything is happening? Why are people getting cancer? Why is there poor people? Why are cops killing people? Why are the things happening? That's what we need to fix. Let's stop putting more medicine on stuff, making us live longer.
Band-Aids.
For sure.
Let's figure out the reason. No, I don't have all the answers. No, I'm not going to have, every
Dude.
idea I have you're going to like. But let's talk about it.
Pete Buttigieg gave a pretty good response, in my opinion, when asked if he was pro-life or pro-choice.
Okay.
A pro-life Democrat said, she's a pro-life Democrat. A lot of people in the Democratic Party are pro-life, surprisingly. And Buttigieg said, well, I'm personally pro-choice. I hope that, he basically said, I know we might not agree, but I hope that you would choose me, trusting me to do the right thing when it came to this decision-making process. I think that's the best thing someone could say if they have an ideological disagreement. And he got roasted for it by conservatives, saying it was a terrible response. What was he supposed to say? If dude, I'm pro-choice, the best thing I can do is say, I'm willing to have a conversation. Maybe we won't agree. I really don't know what else to do. If you don't like it, please don't vote for me.
Yep.
But he gets roasted for it. So there really are hard wedge issues that are problematic. Now, maybe you could run as a moderate Democrat, but what happened when the moderate Democrats ran in 2018? They said, we're going to do all the normal things. We're going to fight for normal issues. We're going to fight for insurance, for healthcare, employment. And then as soon as they got voted in, they were holding the orange man bad ring. And the moderate voters said, do it. Cast it into the fire. And they went, impeach Trump.
Yeah, because the system is run by a bunch of old people from old systems that
The moderates who won were younger.
Yeah, well, we need everybody. I can't just go up there and be like, I'm going to be the one person that changes things. No. We need 100 of me, 1,000 of me, different people. I'm not saying me personally. I'm saying all these younger generations that are pissed about this, get out there.
Dude, the millennial generation and Gen Z are woke.
Yes, that's true.
They won't like you.
Not all of them. I disagree, man. Sure, they're out there. Yeah, the woke generation, but they also are entitled and feel like they are owed stuff. You think people are going to vote for that kind of attitude? No.
Yes.
Really? You think so?
I think they'll vote for each other. And then it'll all fall apart.
Okay.
That's why I don't see an exit to this room we're in. I see, you look at Chaz, and with all the problems they've experienced, they haven't learned a thing. They're just like dumping potting soil onto a cardboard and then dropping a potted plant on top of it. It's like watching Idiocracy.
Yeah.
They think they're the smart ones, while they ban books and ban speech, and they don't understand what's wrong with that. The Democrats at the top don't care, and they're laughing the whole time. Any one of these people could shut these people up. They don't care. They like it. So you have a tiny fraction of this country dictating policy for the most of it. Perhaps what happens is come November, Trump wins and the Republicans win by such an overwhelming majority, like what we saw in the UK, that it shocks all of these establishment institutions and they stop doing this stuff. But right now, they're the ones fueling it.
That would be wonderful.
But I don't believe it'll happen.
I do.
Trump won the first time, and what do? They ramped it up. It's been worse than ever, and it's only gotten worse. And the best Trump could ever do was say the FCC should investigate and set some guidelines, and it's not going to do anything. Maybe if the Republicans win the House, they'll actually amend 230 to say legal speech is protected, and that changes everything. But many people have said, and perhaps this is true, Trump will be the last Republican president, unless the Republican Party becomes like the Democrats are today. And then you end up with the woke party and the, kind of woke party. And then books are banned, books are burned. So what happens to all of those people who say no to this? I guess the big question that we don't know is how many people will support the book burnings? I'd be willing to bet a lot of them.
I don't.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's happening all around us. Who's stopping them?
Yeah, they're sitting in their little drum circles or whatever you want to call it, little circles of
skyscrapers in Seattle, skyscrapers in San Francisco. You mean?
Yeah, themselves burning their own stuff.
So Mark Zuckerberg, sitting atop his ivory tower in San Francisco, is banning Trump supporters, left and right. Jack Dorsey flags Donald Trump's tweets and then glorifies violence himself.
Yep.
These are billionaires. These are extremely powerful individuals who are suppressing thought and ideas and gloating about it and lying about it. These are not drum circles.
Yes.
Nothing will stop them.
Okay.
So what? So it's like the.
Well, as long as people still use their platforms, which they do, maybe we should get off Twitter. Maybe we need to
nationalize all of them. Amazon.
No, I don't know if that's necessarily the answer, but they need someone like you to create a new Twitter. What's stopping you?
It's been tried.
And
over and over and over again. It's been tried.
okay.
What they do is their drones in media immediately, and probably fake this themselves, will find one or two extremists
Yep.
and then run a huge article expose about the new neo-Nazi website.
Yeah, of course.
And then your sponsors dry up and people panic and they flee.
Man, they're the ones that seem like they're the Nazis. I don't want
Right.
to say it, but
Yep.
that's what
Yeah.
it feels like.
And
Yeah.
They were burning books.
they're authoritarian.
They were trying to divide everybody. I refuse to be divided. I love all of my American friends. I love them all, man. Even the crazy ones, Tim.
You refuse to be divided.
Yeah.
But if someone came and demanded that you start
to burn
burning
a book, I wouldn't.
so you won't. So you will stand divided.
Sure, to the small percentage that wants me to burn a book, when it's like that book, even if it's hate speech, is showing me what hate speech is.
So I guess what we
That
don't know right
let's,
now.
Let's talk about it. Let's bring it out there.
What we don't know right now is how big the numbers really are. But if it's true that Joe Biden is polling as well as he is, while Joe Biden himself calls for Facebook to censor speech, those numbers should be alarming to everyone in this country.
Well, at least they denied him. At least they said, no, sorry, Biden. We're not going to let someone dictate what we do, which is rather interesting that they said that.
I think Facebook started hedging their bets that Trump is going to win. And so at first they were censoring everybody and then realized if the Republicans take the majority, they're in serious trouble. And so they immediately backed off. Twitter, however, I think Twitter's convinced Trump's going to lose. That's why Twitter is the most egregious actor out of all of this. And I think,
I agree.
I think Jack Dorsey is manipulative and duplicitous.
Yep, I see it.
Because I've talked to the guy on more than one occasion, and he promises all of these. He whispers all these sweet nothings about decentralization and all the good work they're doing.
Yep.
And then what does he do?
Not that.
He personally
Fact
breaks
checks.
his own rules.
Yeah, breaks his own rules.
Fact checks opinions.
What's rule for thee but not me?
Rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah,
And
ridiculous.
I think all of these companies are paying attention to the rift that's growing, and they're counting heads. The
Yep.
reason why those Joint Chiefs of Staff and why the general guy came out and stood against Trump is they're betting Trump will lose.
Well, he's got my vote.
I guess we can only wait and see, man. Who's right? Is the media lying to us? Yup. So are the polls correct? I have no idea. They could be wrong. But Rasmussen did a poll, and they typically favor Trump and found Trump's approval rating was way down. Apparently, OAN, One American News, was supposed to do a poll and found that it was tied in Florida, and so they didn't end up running it. It could be that there really are a bunch of people who are cheering for this stuff. Look, man, the propaganda is everywhere. It's one thing when you see the support for Black Lives Matter, which on the surface is totally fine. The
Okay.
stuff Dave Chappelle talked about was great.
Yeah, I agree.
But behind that are the extremists who are using it to force people in this country to burn books, to ban movies, to ban art.
Yeah, it's
That's
messed
the
up.
nightmare scenario.
It's messed up.
Yeah, it's really funny. There was Jordan Peterson's book was banned by a store in New Zealand,
Yeah.
Really?
but you could still buy Mein Kampf.
Wow. Great.
Yeah, they want to shut down modern opinions that could, keep people enlightened, I guess.
I mean, it's clear they don't know what they're doing though. They're tearing down statues of people that fought for the end of slavery. They're desecrating statues of regiments of people that fought for them, that represented true equality.
This is culture evolution.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's messed up.
In order to build a new world, you must tear down the old.
Yeah.
And they're doing it, and it's just happening. They're tearing down statues, and no one's stopping them. The police stand there and watch them do it.
Well, look, I gotta just say, I hope we got a lot of people here watching. It's like when it does happen, use your voice. We have to be the sane people in the world. That this is a platform. I want everyone to know there's logical people out there, and I hope a lot of you are. It's like we gotta be vocal. We can't let these extremists, essentially, I don't care what side you're on. If you're an extremist, you're blaming other people for problems you can probably work on yourself to fix. So we gotta help. We gotta use our voice. We can't be silent. We gotta speak up. So please do.
I think this starts right now with people who have jobs.
Yeah.
Start talking about this.
Yeah.
If you work on you know what the big challenge is?
What?
These Antifa people, these crazy far leftists have no kids.
Yeah, they don't care.
They got nothing to lose.
They got nothing.
And the people with families are like, I can't lose this job. How am I going to feed my kids?
Yep.
So they keep bending the knee for the people who don't have kids. Well, I guess I'll tell you this right now. If you find yourself in a position where you're more worried about the immediate food for your kids, what future will be left for them if you allow the lunatics to take over and do all of this stuff? So we do need to jump over to the super chats. Yeah. Because we went on a long spree there. I hope you enjoyed it. So I apologize for, we're not going to be able to get to too much.
Yeah.
Adam's going to always pull out the Lefroig.
Well, normally I wait till after we do super chats, but
the Lefroig. Is that how you pronounce it? Lefroig.
It's funny. I saw someone who was like, Adam, you need to have your glass of whiskey. Now, you guys know before I jam, I like to have a little bit of whiskey, and this is actually over 100 years old. This shot glass. Can you cut to me here? Yeah. So, I guess you can't really see the lettering.
No, I think we can.
Zoom in
but this says
there we go. Tim can zoom in.
It says Woodland Whiskey, Krigler and Krigler Distillers, and so this is actually from my family's whiskey company in like 1900.
Wow.
Like the year 1900. So this is like a 120-year-old shot glass right here.
Holding
So
up
this is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to be using that. And this is some Lefroig. You got me onto this, actually. I never had this. And when I got here, Tim was like, let's celebrate. I'll go get you a bottle of whiskey. What do you want?
Expensive whiskey.
He got a bottle of 25-year Lefroig, and I was...
Woo.
Let me just tell you, it was delicious. So
we celebrated after the defeat of Antifa. We were doing an event last year, and Antifa threatened to burn the theater down. The theater canceled on us. We eventually found a new venue, and because we were succeeding, we were like, I am going to celebrate our success with a very expensive whiskey, which I did have some of, and it was awful. I hated it.
It was amazing.
Adam loves it.
It's amazing. It's amazing whiskey.
25
It ruins
years.
all other whiskey for me. Although the Lefroig 10 years is really good. It's a lot more affordable. It's really delicious. I'm gonna spin the UFO for all my homies out there.
Do it.
And I'm gonna try and read as many super chats as I can.
All right, let's book it.
And I'm gonna start with E36 Blur, who said Tim's not gonna read this.
Oh.
Joke's on you.
Psych.
Kyle Buchanan says, Tim, I'm going to try to go to the Trump rally in Tulsa on June 19th to film. What would you recommend on how to film? Never filmed before. Happy note. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Honestly, I heard
it's already sold out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you don't have a ticket, I don't even think you can get in there.
Every Trump rally I went to in 2015 was the only reason I got in was because I was press.
They sound like so much fun.
He said,
I was lucky.
He said that I'm going to have one sold out.
Oh, yeah.
It's like his
Interesting.
base is huge, man.
I know. I agree.
People want him. And the people that aren't voting for Trump, they're voting for Joe Hannison. What's for the independent?
Oh, Joe Jorgensen.
Joe Jorgensen. They're voting for Bernie still. They're voting
maybe
for Biden.
Maybe that splits the Bernie,
Yes,
the
maybe
Bernie
it
stuff.
does.
Maybe it splits.
I see people are like, Bernie's still on the docket. Let's vote for Bernie. It's like the Trump people are like, yeah, we're voting for Trump. And I saw an interesting meme. It's like Democrats, how they see voters. They're like splitting them up like white, black, Hispanic, blah, 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 all the different races. And then Trump, how he sees voters, and it just is an American flag. And I was like,
I gotta tell you this, man.
Yeah,
I gotta say.
You saw that one?
No.
I was talking to that.
I've been watching all this stuff for a really, really long time, and I've always been like, Republicans, Democrats, culture, or whatever.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, when they started banning movies and books at rapid speed recently, in the past couple of weeks, Gone with the Wind sells out on Amazon.
Yeah. You can get it now. It's like $150.
When you go on Instagram, when you search on Instagram, they've dedicated 25% of the screen to Black Lives Matter.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And on the surface, I'm fine with protests, but the rapid culture revolution is one of the scariest things I've seen so far. The suppression of speech has been a slow roll over a long time, and it's been scary over the past several years.
Yeah, it's true.
The rapid speed at which they've been burning, figuratively burning books, banning them from Amazon.
Yep.
Banning art from Magic the Gathering.
Magic cards. Yeah.
Art being banned. That freaks me out. So I can only imagine. I can only imagine what a regular American would think. Someone who's sitting there and they find out that Cops just got banned. You know, Cops, bad boys.
Oh, yeah.
What you gonna do? How many middle-aged, regular dudes just like get home from work and then sit down and turn the TV on and Cops is playing and they're like, whatever.
33 seasons.
33 seasons.
1989, right?
Yeah, that's a long time.
1989.
I wonder what their ratings were.
Good
To
enough
be
to
on
keep
that long?
going for
Yeah.
for that long. Yeah.
How many people
Crazy.
now are watching It's Always Sunny and they just banned the Lethal Weapon 5 episode? And they're going like, what?
Why? Yeah.
No idea.
And how many of them are getting scared because of it?
A lot of people.
I think Trump definitely needs to lean into that and
Yeah.
say, we cannot allow our country to fall to book burnings. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised if he already said something like that.
Yeah.
We got to keep it moving.
Yeah,
though.
we got to keep moving. We're not going to get to enough super chats. I'm sorry, guys.
We've chatted enough
We-
today,
we-
Tim.
we had
I've had enough of you.
We had a really intense feud.
Super chats. Good feud. Get all out.
Clay Moore says, I live on the edge of civilization in northern Canada. 40. People need real jobs, real pay, and real time to reflect. Kiss. Keep it short, simple, and sweet. Have a safe day.
Word.
I will.
Here.
Sil Trim says, if you oppose what is going on with the Chaz, the challenges against free speech and the police being walked over, speak up, write your congressman, go march. Do not let these people crap on what America is about. I don't know. I don't know if maybe it's too late, or maybe Trump wins
Not
and
too
then
late, man.
you know it's
Nah.
Trump is like, unfortunately, the worst ambassador of opposing this stuff. That's the challenge. He is not. He is far from perfect. Okay, I get it. Maybe there's nothing that would be better than Trump being like, I'm not PC. I refuse to kneel. But I guess that's all there is, huh? Scott Bloss says, Tim, New Jersey has pretty strict gun laws, but they have castle doctrine for home defense. How much research have you done so far? Here in New York, I had to neuter the AR I just built for it to be legal. Was not happy. Yeah.
That sucks.
I Set on the Horizon says, thoughts on the Boogaloo Boys? I'm part of the Michigan group, and the response has been mostly positive from the protesters, defending them from police and stopping Antifa types. The media hates us. Yet the media keeps claiming that the Boogaloo Boys are like Nazis. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I've watched the videos of them. They're like libertarians, and they don't really talk about politics from what I've seen.
Okay.
You know? They're just people who show up and they're like, hey, no Antifa violence. But the media, Vice particularly. Stephen Biggs says South Park is going to have a really good season this year.
Yeah.
Of this year. Yeah, totally.
I'm sure.
InfoSlinger says, I think the Chaz and the unrest in these cities is a big troll to get Trump to send in the military so MSM can say, see, Trump is a dictator. Yeah, maybe. Steven says, Chaz the UFO.
I will Chaz it.
Chaz the UFO.
I just take it. This is mine now.
Steal it.
Simius the First says, all democracies are doomed demagoguery and tyranny because democracies need the populace to have strong moral fiber. Eventually, the moral fiber of the citizenry fades, and they start to elect people who will just give them whatever they want. Thus, democracy dies. That seems to be what's happening, man.
Yeah.
Gabriel McLeod. Hey, Tim, do you think we are seeing the beginnings of some version of the Shadowrun reality? Autonomous zones, rise in private security, big corporations exerting power. Google search Shadowrun North America map. I don't know what that is, but I will. Check it out. Sounds cool.
Same.
CJ Reed says, is America's recent history in part defined by foreign wars, as it will split the public's focus away from the homegrown conflict, thus making them argue issues which impact them in a less tangible manner? I mean, that tends to be what's happened. I think that's why we talked about, China comes in and then all of a sudden we are seemingly united, but I'm not super confident, man. Wolfalt De Leon says, to Adam, post 4441, the wait will soon be over. Post 4421, do you see what is happening? And then he says, the news is fake, the war is real. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Cody says, great conversation. All we can hope for is that the silent majority is much larger than we think. It's hard to believe anything we hear from media. Hopefully the truth is better than what's portrayed. I would agree.
Yep.
Adventurer says, cardboard to kill established grass, dirt to hold it in place. You are supposed to wait weeks till the grass dies, then perforate the cardboard and then plant it in a process to convert lawn to garden.
Well, they don't have time
Yeah.
for that, so
Right.
They got a time.
Epic-
They got till the 20th, 8 days.
Yeah.
To make these crops
Now,
grow.
if you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button.
Smash
Yes,
it.
We have to. Gotta get
Yeah,
people
just
to do
Smash
that.
that like button yet?
Smash.
Come on.
Smash it.
You know you wanna.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast.
Yep.
You can follow at Adam Krigler on Twitter and Instagram as well. And you can send Adam story ideas
Yeah,
on
hit me up.
his pinned tweets.
Yep.
And also, don't forget, you can follow at Sour Patch Lids.
Follow me.
LYDS.
I love peeps.
Yeah. Epic Toad Rage says, the police stand by and watch as they tear down statues. Will the police stand by and let others violently remove the people pulling down statues? I would imagine the answer to that is yes. Scott Brumley says, please join Parlay so I can get off Twitter and still follow you guys.
Is that another one of those things?
It's like a alternative to Twitter, but there's so many.
Yep.
And it's really hard to manage multiple networks.
Yep.
You know, it's like Twitter and YouTube are almost the same thing anyway, in terms of like posting updates, not videos.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Destin says, leftists not having kids doesn't matter. Everyone else's kids are being indoctrinated by the system. Check out Talks on Intellectual Subversion by Yuri Bezmenov. Super scary stuff. Leftists not having kids does matter, because when you walk up to somebody who's got kids and you say, bend the knee or else, they say, please don't hurt my children. I'll do whatever you say.
Right.
When you walk up to a leftist and they have no kids, they say, I don't got anything to lose. Do what you want. And I will give you nothing. They have nothing to risk. They're not scared of anything.
Right.
Sons of Titan. Have you heard of the cartel member LaBarbie, who is involving many high Mexican officials and U.S. officials, especially with Fast and Furious operation? Any chance that goes anywhere? I don't know anything about it, unfortunately. Sorry. The Pool Dork says, Adam, as a whiskey man myself, I have a newfound respect for you. Here's to whiskey. Huzzah.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
And, it just jumped on me. Where were we at?
No.
Don't jump.
That's good.
Jean McLeod.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I am a lesbian that loves to watch Tim. Someone's commented on my Twitter I sent you and asked, lesbians watch Tim? I mean, actually, a good friend of mine is a lesbian and leftist, but actually watches and, supports my work. Like, that's the thing. I think there are regular sane people who can have conversations and disagree, but too many crazies are kind of taking over.
I think most people are regular and sane. Like
I'd like to
regular
think that.
and sane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
sane people.
Look, I had a conversation recently, last year, with one of my neighbors, and they believed crazy fake things. They were sane, they were rational,
Sure.
and they said stuff like the very fine people hoax. You know what that is? So Joe Biden launched his campaign off of the lie that Donald Trump said neo-Nazis were very fine people.
Oh, okay.
He did not.
But he didn't say that.
He didn't. He said they should be condemned totally. And he said there were other people that were very fine.
Yeah.
And he was referring to regular people who didn't want a statue torn down. Joe Biden cuts the context and changes it. And I talked to my locals, and they think Trump literally is going out there and celebrating and cheering for neo-Nazis.
Yep.
And then they say, because they don't know better, that you are the problem for defending neo-Nazis.
I'll talk to him about it.
But they're not going to believe you.
They want to talk to me.
It's like you watch NPR today said Donald Trump just revoked LGBTQ protections in healthcare. And all of a sudden I'm seeing all these lefties screeching and going,
Yeah.
Unity really did?
I don't even want to get in this conversation.
Donald Trump enacted a new rule that says biological sex is defined by biology, and that's it.
That's it.
And then they ran a fake headline saying he was stripping away LGBTQ rights in healthcare.
That's all he said.
Cool. More anti-Trump sentiment.
Ugh.
What a surprise.
And so what do you think's going to happen when you find someone and you're like, look, book burnings are bad, and they're going to be like, are you literally on the side of the Nazis? They don't know
For not
better.
wanting to burn books.
They read NPR, bro. They read the New York Times. You were the wrong one. They read it in the news.
Okay.
All right. Well.
So that's why the divide won't be mended.
Sure.
Larry Goddard says all of the angry Bernie supporters won't let the Democrats win. Before it was wanting to win with Bernie. Now it's just about that revenge. Trump 2020. Maybe Bernie supporters, vote for Trump. I think that's what Larry is saying. I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think that might happen.
Capitalism, Entertainment, and Technology says Trump represents the right to not be perfect. I think that's absolutely fair.
Wonderful. We got to have that.
We need that, yeah.
People need to know it's okay.
It's okay to not be perfect.
What?
Yeah.
Watch that become a white supremacist thing. Sparky says Gone with the Wind, which illustrates important context of its time, is banned despite its actress, Hattie McDaniel, being the first black Oscar winner.
Mm-hmm.
They've said they want to bring it back with a disclaimer or something.
Whatever.
King Shizit says, I have footage from the first 3 days of the Phoenix riots on a USB. You want me to send it? Get a red dot light and extra mags. Sorry, I haven't super chatted till yesterday. Just started work again. Burning books is my line. You can't really send it to me. I wouldn't know what to do with it, to be honest. But I mean, if you have footage, you should just upload it, I guess. Put it somewhere. Let's see. We just got a big old YouTube jump.
Wow.
There we are. Colleen says, Adam, your rant was right on. Don't stop telling it like it is.
I won't ever stop.
I Like to Annoy says, there is a way to stop Twitter. Buy up a majority stake in the company and force Jack out. He does not own a majority. That is how you do it. They call it a hostile takeover in business. Somebody was going to do that, and then they negotiated it. Remember that?
I do.
Some Trump donor, super rich dude, and then all of a sudden he just stopped.
I wonder why.
Jay McGurr says, I've read Chinese fantasy novels, and what's happening with no police parallels those novels a lot. They have powers and might makes right. If you have enough power or backing, laws don't apply to you. If you kill a lesser, oh well, it was their fault. Yeah. Let's see. We just jumped again.
Jumping a lot.
It's the Kool-Aid dude says, the spider, Destiny 2, infestation starts small. Vermin goes scuttling through your home and you think it was just one. But the next thing you know, your shore seethes.
You're sure.
You're sure.
Yeah.
MK says, y'all need to do a video game political analysis, to be honest. Would like to hear your opinion on Dark Souls. Adam certainly got one of those.
Wait, a political, like, how is Dark Souls political? I mean, I could talk about Dark Souls all day long. It's one of my favorite game series of all time. It's amazing. It's like old school Castlevania meets with, the best combat system of all games that I've ever played. I love it so much. It's anything can kill you. The developer said he wants any enemy to be exciting and be able to kill you, and that's incredible, and it feels like that way. And not only that, you can play with your friends, you can invade and kill other players. It's amazing.
Are there politics to it though? Like, is there a story?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Are you talking about the lore? Oh man,
Yeah, I don't know. In the game, is there a story? Like, what are you doing?
You're burning the world down.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay.
Lighting the
There you
flame. Well, I don't know. That's actually there's different endings, so you could potentially light the flame and burn it all away and start over and take the throne. But there's different endings. You don't have to do it that way. You can walk away from it all. It's kind of cool, yeah. So, man, Dark Souls, what a great series.
This is an interesting super chat. Mesdra Resident says, I am leaving the U.S. I am Kentucky born, but have lived out of the U.S. People are too insane now. My liberal dad wants to ban freedom of religion. I was prepared to go at the end of the year, but COVID. That's scary.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's see. What do we got? Floyd Freed says, while everyone is focused on Black Lives Matter, 20 people die each day waiting for an organ transplant. So many people walking around with a spare kidney or just let their organs rot. CR505 says, how come that mainstream media and so many others refuse to accurately report on the stats involved with white officers and their contact with black males? Everyone knows it's not a white officer killing black males. In a lot of circumstances, it actually wasn't, and they still became big stories. A lot of Latinos, too. Marvin says, cultural Marxism has infiltrated our institutions and government. Ironically, it has now emerged with a new technocratic corporatism. This will need to be addressed at some point. No, I'm not sure it will. No one says, I found you on Rogan. Glad I did. You guys are awesome. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. Shadow Fox says, those generals can be brought back in and charged with UCMJ actions for breaking their oath of enlistment. We swore to follow the orders of the president when we joined the military. That's crazy. That's scary that they're doing it, though, man.
They should be, though.
Yeah.
They're making us look weak. That's not okay.
They're putting us at serious risk of harm.
That's not okay.
But if he does, they're going to use it. And they're going to be like, oh, he's a dictator. Oh, geez.
It's going to make me respect him more.
Seriously.
Yeah, there you go. Lamb says the failure of U.S. policy toward China is overestimating China's capabilities, yet underestimating China's intentions. You think you're not at war, but to the CCP, there can be no peace.
Yeah, they're over there going, look at these Americans.
Mustache,
yeah,
they've admitted it. They said that they're making fun of us. It's like,
here we go.
Yeah, they're biding their time.
That's not a good sign.
This new TC's The Division update is lit. It's so realistic. From Mike Minky. The new TC's The Division. What is that?
I've stopped playing The Division.
Maybe they're making a joke about something. I don't know.
No.
Sorry, I'm a dummy says, thank you guys for being my main source of current going on in the States. PA friend right now on the border of Jersey. Cool.
Very cool.
Right
Stephen Smith says, Pope Thanos Blue Towers Balkanization plan. Thoughts? I don't know what that is.
So that is the idea that the blue cities should be like kind of their own place, which we kind of actually touched on tonight. So I'm glad we kind of mentioned that. But
they would collapse.
They would collapse.
They would
in 2
turn
seconds.
into shells.
They would collapse. They would not last.
Yeah.
If they announced that, every single major corporation would move their headquarters across the rivers.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? Like, you can keep a business there.
No, you can't.
Man, the hyper-centralization has been really bad for us.
Yeah, what a bad idea.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Well, people are fleeing, so maybe, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. Maybe banning the police, abolishing the police is the right thing to do. You know why?
Force people out of the cities.
Force people out of the cities, man.
Yeah.
No.
Now people are spreading out, going to the country.
I will never say it was a good thing. Ever.
Net positive.
I'm saying no. I'm not even saying it was a net positive. I'm saying the good thing that comes out of it is it's forcing people out of cities. Why not? Just let the cities keep growing and growing out of control and breeding lunatics who
We can
Don't
figure
grow
out what's going on without just trying to just make
Yeah.
radical changes.
I'm not saying they should do it. I'm saying the benefit will be that people will leave the cities. Light at the end of the tunnel.
Maybe so.
I
I
refuse.
don't know. We'll see.
MK says, Adam,
Happening.
hit me up on Steam. Mcashtastic. The politics of Dark Souls is pretty much like the establishment Democrats, the old ones desperately hanging on.
That's a good point.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
CR505 says, huge fan, Tim. Do you think the mainstream media will ever be criminally liable for intentionally lying to their viewers and inciting anarchy? Thanks for your unbiased work, all of you. I think the answer to that is no, and I certainly hope it remains no, because First Amendment, free speech, freedom of the press. You got to take the good with the bad, man. You can't just want, your speech, and then when someone else says something you don't agree with, you don't like it. That's why I frequently recommend other YouTubers, progressives typically, and then some, libertarians, conservatives. So shout out to like Kyle Kalinske and Sticks, Hex, and Hammer. You should watch more channels than just me.
Yep.
Mix up your opinions and, try and figure out for yourself.
Yep.
But, the unfortunate reality is we as the libertarian types, and I don't mean big L libertarian, are at a disadvantage because we're willing to be honest and fair and allow people to learn and read. And the cheaters will exploit for their own personal gain. And it works, man.
Smash that like button.
Yes, do
Yes.
Sorry, I felt like that.
Yeah.
Smash it.
That
I feel
section needed a smash.
I'm feeling it.
Smash that like button.
Smash the like button if you haven't already.
Yes, please, by all means.
Michael Lacey says, Adam Krigler, Timcast, there's never a justification to destroy innocent human life. My brother gave birth to me at 16. Were I conceived a little later, I would be as dead as 65 million other Americans.
Man.
Wow. John Vi says, we need Jordan Peterson's wisdom in this time. And I'm impressed he's actually broken through a lot of the smears against him. For a while, they tried playing this alt-right thing and it didn't work. And then he actually became a bit more mainstream and was accepted.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate what happened with his medical issue.
Yeah.
Because logic usually prevails.
Yeah. Well,
He's
people needed
illogical.
meaning. He's meaningful. Yeah.
People do need meaning. Yeah.
100%.
And that's literally what he talks about.
I'm
He's a
just
smart
gonna
man.
I'm gonna say this for the whole conversation we had about what's gonna happen come November. The best thing you can probably do is be under the assumption that you have a chance to win, but you're not guaranteed.
Right.
Because the hubris
Yep.
of like, we're going to win and we know it. I've seen
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yep.
I tweeted out that the betting odds don't favor Trump. And I got ratioed
Yeah,
from everyone
dude.
laughing, saying like, not attacking me for it, but just commenting how they think it's so dumb. There's no way Trump will lose. And I'm like, if you,
That's the attitude.
Money talks,
Yep.
dude.
money
Sure
talks.
does.
Yeah.
And hubris will be your downfall.
Yeah.
You'll be sitting there thinking like, whatever, man. I'm not going
Yeah.
to lose. We're going to win. And
I've
then
argued with people about that too.
you got to,
Don't get cocky.
this is probably going to be the biggest political fight in 100 years.
It is. It's happening right
I know.
in front of us
Yep,
right
it's happening
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how important it is.
Yikes, man. Ben Smith says, military swears to protect and defend the Constitution before anything else, not the president or any person. Right on. Let's see. One evil chef says, Tom Clancy's The Division is based on a strain of superflu starting in NYC and propagating through tainted U.S. bills. Many view this as realism. Australia
It's a good movie. It was
is
a good
not
game.
real, says, when city people move to the country, they destroy the essence of that town. I wouldn't be surprised. Zooey Mama says, people are taking RSVPs for the rally to shout out supporters from going. I see a lot of people my age, teens, doing this. Don't prevent speech. Sparky says, I live in the pre-gentrification, post-apocalyptic world in the city in the 70s and 80s. I liked it, but I'm kind of an Omega man. Let's see. Yo Mama says, do you think mask wearing is to desensitize people to getting a microchip? No, I do not think so at all. I think they just don't know what they're talking about. John Pete says, please do a segment on Joe Jorgensen and how the libertarian ticket is not on the ballot in all 50 states. Wow, really? That's crazy.
Should be.
All right, well, should we jump over to music time?
Sure.
Music time.
Do it. I love
Yeah.
music
So
time.
listen. If you haven't already, you can follow us, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Someone sent me the skateboard. Check it out.
This is so cool.
I had to bring it up.
There we go.
Yeah.
We can see your
look how
chin.
thick this is.
There we go. Oh, sweet.
Whoa.
Oh, let's just hit the microphone. You're welcome, everyone.
There it is.
It's
Whoever said that,
amazing.
Dope.
Yes. It's clean.
I think it's an 8.5 as well, which is what I skate. But
Perfect
I'm not going to
size.
skate it because it's great art.
So cool.
It's great art.
It's amazing.
So, it is Friday night, and let me tell you what happens now. The first and most important thing.
Gotta plug in the mic.
Yeah, I'll plug it in. Is it turned on?
No, I have to wait till you plug it in.
Do, 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 do.
Is he not doing it? probably bothered a lot of people.
Sorry, everyone.
Now you got to turn it on.
Is the volume down on it?
It is down.
Okay.
Oh, that probably bothered a lot of people too.
No.
Sorry, everybody.
All right. So here's what's happening.
You can blame me.
We're basically wrapping up the show. So if you had a good time, really, thanks for hanging out. We do the shows Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. live. We upload clips throughout the day. We've got a bunch of big projects on the way. And in the next month or so, you are going to be shocked. There's going to be a new vlog channel. We're going to have more. We've been planning skateboarding and gaming. We are expanding. There's going to be probably some kind of written news outlet fact checking. This is all being built coming up the next month or so. So it's going to be epic. We're going to have a vlog channel dedicated to crazy shenanigans. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast. You can follow at Adam Krigler because you can send him story ideas. He posts a pinned tweet, and then he'll ask for story suggestions. He goes through them, and we actually do use them. And then also we have at Sour Patch Lids, LYDS. And for now, if you've had a good time and you're done and you're ready to go to bed or whatever, I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to stick around for the next maybe 20 minutes or half an hour or so. Adam is going to play some songs. So if you like Adam and enjoyed his rant, stick around for his music. And I normally play it. I haven't in the past couple weeks, but tomorrow I have to record actual vocal tracks for music. So I've got to save my voice. That being said, is the jam cam on?
It is on. Do it.
I'm actually really excited for you to record some of those songs, and I know a lot of people out there are really excited. They've been some people hit me up. They're like, "Man, I got your song in my head. I got Tim's song in my head. When are you guys gonna put some music out there?" Well, it's coming soon. Yes, it's happening. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just play a couple songs. This one's called "Easy to Be."
I knew there was something else, something I could have done something about. Well, I look misunderstood and I feel like I have let myself down. Oh no. It's easy to be. It's easy to be. Yeah, it's easy to be. Well, I knew there was something else. It's the power in the palm of my hand. I can look into the mirror and suddenly I'm a man. Oh yeah. 'Cause it's easy to be. Yeah, it's easy to be. I knew there was something else. It's the power in the palm of our hands. We have to look into the future and finally all take a stand. Oh yeah. 'Cause it's easy to be. Yeah, it's easy to be. It's easy to be. It's so easy to be. Thank you. So, man,
Whoa.
cheers for everybody who's still with us.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that one.
Now I'm trying to bust out some new stuff.
Loving it.
This one's called If Justice is Dead. So I played this one a little bit, but there's some words. So I'm going to play the full song right now. If justice is dead, then it's worth liberating. If justice is dead, then it's worth liberating. And these are my thoughts for you. Yeah, that's it. It's kind of,
Whoa. Woo.
did you just boo me?
I said I'm woo. I'm wooing
Oh,
you.
you're wooing.
I'm saying boo earns.
You certainly are wooing
Woo
me, Tim.
earns.
So this one actually I wrote for a friend of mine in Chicago who had just gotten her heart broken, and it's called Torn Photographs. It's a little sad and emotional, but you know, so is life. Come home late, I get the feeling you're still here. Don't you remember all of those things I did to prove to you all I wanted was a little something in return. Well, you think you'd be better off without me. Well, baby, all I wanted was for you to be happy. I guess I'm all out of luck, 'cause you were my everything. And now I'm all torn up because, well, now you're gone. And obviously I'm alone with my thoughts and old torn photographs of distant smiles on the floor as you walked out the door. Close my eyes, only to find that you're still here. A flash of light, oh, and one more memory slides to the floor. Maybe I'm better going on without you, but that's gonna be so hard, 'cause you think you'd be better off without me. And baby, all I wanted was for you to be happy. I guess I'm all out of luck, 'cause you're my everything. And now I'm all torn up because, well, now you're gone. Oh, and obviously I'm alone with my thoughts and old torn photographs of distant smiles on the floor as you walked out the door. All the pain that you caused me when you walked out, it didn't stop me from putting all those pieces back together to see your face just one last time again. Again.
Boo earns. Boo earns.
Thank you. Cheers, everybody. What time we got? What time is it?
10:17.
Ooh.
Should I play another one?
It's up to you, man. You want to play Taking It Back? What's the other song that you played that I really like?
Find Yourself?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is it the Melancholy Hellhound?
Maybe.
Is it bluesy?
Yeah.
I think so. More aggressive.
Is it this one?
Yeah, play it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want your money. I just want some wine. Yeah, give me some of your honey. I promise I'll take my time. Oh, welcome to the heartache. Try not to lose your way. I find myself growing senseless, oh, to the pain. Yeah, you can scratch and crawl to figure it out, but in the end you'll find me. Oh, I don't want your pity, and I don't want no lies. Yeah, give me some of your honey. Whoa, I promise I'll take my time. Oh, welcome to the heartache. It always feels the same. Yeah, well, I find myself growing senseless. Oh, to the pain. Yeah, you can scratch and crawl to figure it out, but in the end you'll find me. Oh, well, I still get the feeling, whoa, of judgmental eyes. Only difference being, it's just not worth my time. I welcome all the heartache, yeah. Oh, it brings tears to my eyes. Yeah, those tears remind me I'm alive. Alive, yeah. Oh, well, scratch and crawl to figure it out, but in the end you'll find me. All right, I'm out of here.
Woohoo!
Thank you, everybody.
Woo!
Appreciate that. That was fun. I'm gonna turn that mic off, yeah?
Don't turn it off yet.
I'll just leave it.
Yeah, for now. Oh, did I press the wrong one? That's the Fox article.
There we go.
Hey, okay. So, this is 2 weeks now I haven't gotten to play. Well,
Yeah.
last week I ended up losing my voice.
I don't mind playing though.
Because I ended up playing, like in the middle of me recording my actual segments, I played like 6 songs. I gotta tell you, man, when you record 4 hours
Yeah,
of
you're a beast,
talking
dude. You're a beast.
every day, and then add in singing with belting and everything, it's like
Oh, hey, there's a lot of people still here. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
I
thanks for sticking
appreciate it.
around.
somebody
Cheers to everybody.
somebody made a really good point. Probably the biggest concert of the year,
What?
what you just played.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Think
yeah,
about
I
it.
guess
Because
so.
of COVID, there were 20,000 plus people watching when you started.
Dang.
What is, like, how many people fit in like Wembley Stadium or whatever? Probably a lot more than that. I think it's like what, like
This is
60?
probably the
Yeah,
biggest
no
show I've
idea.
ever done.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
Yeah, well, we do it every Friday. Huh? What do we got to say?
Yeah, you know, it's a regular thing. Ain't no
regular
thing.
thing.
Ain't
Ain't
no
no big
thing. You know
deal.
what I'm saying? You just
We got a
play-
lot. We
I
got a
just
lot
play
of
the
stuff
music.
to do, friends. There is so much going on. We're gonna go nuts. We've got like the new vlog channel is gonna be silly shenanigans, skits,
Music.
games. It's gonna be off like.
I really want to play covers, man. I want to play a cover. Someone asked me on Twitter. They said, "Look, before you jam, if you could do me a favor of just talk about your favorite bands." And I just want to say Incubus, Sublime, Led Zeppelin, Tool,
Muse.
Radiohead. Muse actually is relatively new for me.
Really?
I always liked Muse, but it wasn't until I went and saw them in the beginning of the year. It was Madison Square Garden. I went and saw them. Wow. Oh no, maybe it was last year. I don't remember when I went and saw them, but oh wow, they blew me away.
Dude, amazing.
They were so good live, and every single song they played was good. I was like, man, I love these guys. So
That's Muse.
yeah. So the newer music I'm starting to play is definitely influenced by Muse, but a lot of my those Torn Photographs, that's an older song of mine. Actually, a lot of my songs are a little bit older. So
Yeah, I'm a big Muse fan, and inspired by Muse, I'm writing a new song called "I Love You, But the Government Is Taking Over."
that's good.
Yes.
If you're not a Muse fan, I get it, but I think most people might understand. Like they only ever write about either being in love or like the government overreaching its powers.
And
Yeah,
sometimes
right.
in the same song.
And sometimes in the same
Yes.
song. What was that one line? It was like,
That's a good point.
I love you, but they're watching us from above or something.
oh yeah. What is
You're
it?
so easy to love. Everything
you're
about
s-
you is so easy to love.
They're watching us
They're
from above.
watching
Like
us from above.
what?
Like, what?
It's literally that line. I love you, but the government is in control.
Ah.
So anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Oh,
You
there's
stuck
some
around.
serious super chats that just came in.
Woo.
Like
Yeah.
heavy hitters, man.
EZ
Oh,
said,
snap.
"F it, why not? Trump 2020."
Yeah,
Oh,
why not?
thanks, man.
But it's bedtime, so here's what's gonna happen. I gotta actually wake up super early, but
Yeah, you do.
we're gonna light some stuff on fire.
Oh, like outside.
Yeah.
Oh, not
in a fire
here.
pit.
No.
The legal way.
The legal
So-
way, yeah.
We're gonna
Thanks.
burn this place down.
No, but
Sorry.
oh
No?
man.
That was my best Alex Jones.
I
How'd
think-
do?
That's pretty good.
I think in
Thank
2
you.
months.
Thank you. I've been working on it.
I think in 2 months we're gonna be started on all the new stuff. Takes time.
I'm stoked.
I can't wait, dude.
And everybody's like, "What are they talking about? What are they talking? It's a secret."
Yeah, it is a secret.
Yes.
I know the secret.
We're gonna head out. We're gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Or sit around a fire. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll be back Monday at 8 p.m. live on this channel. So subscribe, hit the like button, smash the like button, and hit the notification bell. And we will see you all Monday.
Wait, hold on. Smash it. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Please
there we go.
continue.
Right, there we go.
And we will see you all Monday. Thanks for hanging out. Adios, everybody.
Good night, everybody.